Huh.
Actually, I like having the picture there.
Yeah.
I'll
Just
move over more.
Yeah, perfect.
This is a much easier solution.
This is far easier. And we're good to go. We may or may not have a backside attack today.
Okay, cool.
He's got a headache.
That's fair, man.
So he might be out for today, and I might just do one with him tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we can do whatever. We'll let her go. If it's a quick one, it's a quick one. If not, it's not. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, the whole idea is that we're like, it'll be a quick one, and next thing you know, it's like 3 hours later.
It happens.
So
it's been known to happen.
And Handsome Dan, how's your week?
It's good, man. I'm going back to work mostly.
Oh, right on.
50%.
Pretty good, man.
The salons are opening back up, so for now I have my shifts back. They just gave me my schedule. And I'm already doing the education stuff on Wednesdays, so that's fine. It's going to keep happening.
Oh, right on.
And then I'm hoping, I mean, if that's a thing that they're going to do, then that means maybe gyms in 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, it looks like the 25th is what we're looking at for, like, you know, everybody, hey, 21st is here, let's assess, and 25th, just go nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you know, that's what everybody's saying. I don't think that's, like, written in stone or the government's come out and said it.
Masks off and let's start spitting in each other's mouths.
Shirts up. Hey, spit in my mouth. I don't even know you.
It's 2021, man. It's a new world.
2021, man.
Spit in my mouth.
I mean, like, you know, we can basically ransack the Capitol building in America. I can spit in your fucking mouth if I want to.
I can ask you to spit in my mouth. Come on.
Come on. It's not that hard. Oh, God.
What is the deal?
Man, today,
so work I'm excited about that. And then, I don't know, man. Like, that's all I'm thinking about now. I have to find a model for Wednesday. And then I'm just trying to remember, like, okay, I got to go back to work. I got to be a person again.
You got to be a human.
You
got to find a model.
I'm excited to work. I'm just annoyed that I had this unnecessary break.
What's the model thing for? Like for like a hair? Like get somebody to cut your hair?
So basically I'm doing in-house education with the salon that I started with, so that I can be on the floor at the salon, which is great because it's a nice refresher. And then I just have to get a female hair model for Wednesday, which I think I already have one I can just talk to tonight, which is great.
Oh, right on.
Because it's free hair job essentially. Make it sound super classy.
That sounds super.
Get you a free hair job.
I'm gonna give you a free hair job. Hey, you want a hair job?
It's all, like an all-in-one.
Yeah. All good.
And so you're getting your hair done for free, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you should go. And I have so many. That's the one thing I will say is, I have a lot of girlfriends that I don't really consider friends, but I know that if I said, "Do you want your hair done for free?" they're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, you better believe it.
and they'll say it like that as the girl. They'll sound like me the way I did it.
The way you did. They'll say it like that.
The tone of voice will match perfectly.
Nobody will be like of course it will. Like nobody's gonna give that like high pitch. You better believe it.
Yeah. That's not happening.
God.
Everyone always is like, oh, like everyone does that. That's the goofy way to be excited, right?
Man, that is one of those things that I never, again, like being I'm not cutting hair, but I do the job where I try to make people look pretty. I take photos. And that's something also, like if I ever ask anybody, hey, want free photos? They're like, yeah, let me get my family. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll get my makeup, I'll get my hair. It's like, oh God. No, for
no reason. They'll all have their hair and makeup done somehow professionally.
Good Lord. I just want you in the park for 5 minutes. I got to test the lens. Or like, I need to take some photos of how I think you always look. I like the way you look now. I want those photos. Don't go screw it up for me by dolling yourself up and taking out all your piercings and shit.
Yeah. Be normal.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. That's good. And then I got a hike in today with Lavani, and I never do that. Like my friend Lavani. Well, you've met Lavani, so I don't really need to explain that to you. But yeah, he's an ex-bouncer friend.
They said, Dan's coming with Lavani. I'm like, got a new girlfriend or something? This dude
yeah. You're like, I've never met him. We are just like, oh yeah, Lavani.
I'm like, who's this Lavani broad? And then this guy shows up who looks like he's right out of like Cossack Mountain, Russia. I'm like, oh, good Lord.
It's awesome. He's a
solid
good dude, man.
Yeah, he's a rad dude, though. Like, I mean, he's one of those guys you meet right away and like that's a really good guy.
Yeah, he fits in.
Yeah, he really does.
You know?
Yeah, he really does. It's weird, man. Like, it's odd how some people you meet that you just like click right away, and then some people you meet and like all your like red flags go up right away.
Yeah, and with him, like, I just don't know anything, like, or we have like very little in common.
Yeah.
But that's not why we're friends. I don't know. Like, we just became friends for no reason through work. But I want to stay friends with him outside of working at a bar, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like he's genuinely a good person, man. That guy does more, probably like No, not civic. What's the term when you do a lot of volunteer work? There's like a
volunteer work.
You do a lot of.
Right, oh, you mean
yes, but it's no when you do.
I know. I think what you mean is
I'm so bad with words.
It's your civic duty. Like he takes part.
Yeah, man. He takes way more pride in his civic duty than anybody I know because he donates blood regularly. He does donation shit. He does fundraisers. He everything.
No way.
The guy just loves being a community giver, and it's like it shows because all he talks about back home is being in a small town, Georgia, this small family community shit. You know,
yeah. What you mean? Like we're talking Georgia, Europe, like Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, Eastern Europe, way Eastern Europe, Georgia.
Yeah. He's not from like Georgia. Well, no, that's like
no,
Boston.
He's not Georgian. No.
Yeah, Georgian. I know why I turned the Georgian into like Bostonian. He's from Georgia. He's really not.
This hybrid mix where a bunch of Bostoners moved to Georgia because of the whatever. Let's say in the next year,
they just like made a little community
in the U.S.
It's like the hipsters in Austin.
It's like Creole, but with Bostoners and the mix.
They speak patois with like a hard Boston accent.
Yeah, patois.
Patois. What language is that? That's the patois.
Yeah, and they're in Georgia, and Georgia's like, why do you guys talk like that? No one here talks like that.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
Not even, we don't speak patois or anything. So
I love a good, I'm not a huge fan of Boston. I've been there, I just didn't get along. But I'm a huge fan of Boston.
They just remind me of Irish people.
Well, they are Irish people.
I know.
They're like American Newfies in a big city. Yeah. American Newfies in a big city. I don't, man, that's one of those things where like you see people do, and I've never been one to like back away from doing volunteer work, but I've never also been the kind of person who's like, that's my jam, volunteer work.
I feel more. I kind of agree. I don't avoid it, but I don't make the effort to do it either. So I'm like, well, what kind of a person am I? Am I a good person?
My closet asshole?
I'm very happy.
Yeah. I said, am I a closet asshole? Like, I think I'm a closet asshole.
I kind of wonder sometimes, and I'm like, I don't think I would reject an opportunity thrown my way for such things, but until that happens, I'm not going to step my foot out. Well,
here's the thing. When people ask me, hey, do you want to come on down and help out with whatever? I'm always like, yeah, for sure. I mean, you're my friend. You're asking me. I like you. I want to help you, so I'll come and do it. But it's like, if I see it on TV where the call comes out for like volunteers where somebody I don't know asks me, I'm like, no.
There's people who know them.
Yes.
They're good.
They have friends.
I unfortunately feel the same way.
Man, it's
like we're not doing enough.
Yeah, like I'm not doing enough. Like when you see those like donate to UNICEF dealies and some dude who's a millionaire is on TV and he's trying to tell you like help this kid. You're like, yeah, I would if I knew him. I'd totally help him. But you're a millionaire. Open your checkbook.
You help him.
You help him. Tell the CEO for that company to take a pay cut.
I'm helping him by doing this video.
Yeah. Oh man, I always feel bad
on
those
the head,
kids,
and then he leaves.
I do feel bad for those kids. They got it rough out there.
I know. I don't I wish that when I hear about the kind of money that a person made off of a thing they did, and like 2% of it would have ended hunger in 14 countries. I'm like, can you just dump 2% over there and not worry about it?
It ain't hard.
It
ain't hard. Well,
you
that's
made
like
$80 billion. What's 2% of that?
Was it? I think it was with you or with Raj. I was talking about the whole Mackenzie Scott thing, where she's like turning charity work and donations on its head, right?
Yes, that was me. Wow, the woman. That's the woman that got the
Bezos,
Amazon guy's ex-wife. Yeah, and she's like, no, I'm going to take the money I made and actually pay off stuff like world hunger.
Well, she's taking the idea of billionaire donations and volunteer work, and she's like, here's how you do it. Like, you guys are only doing it to maintain your wealth, when really, like, my money is growing so much faster, and I'm not even as rich as you people. Well, I'm equally as rich as you people, and I can still give it away and have it back in the end of the year. So she's just
showing how it can be done.
Yes. Yeah. And she's just, I mean, people looked at her at first and like, hey, look, it's the ultimate gold digger. And she's like, nope. And she's just donating money.
Yeah. And, obviously she was smart about it because she's like, I didn't just take a lump sum so I could live off of it. I took investment money so that I could continue growing it and therefore use it.
Yeah.
Perpetually. It's a perpetual money machine.
It's a perpetual money machine.
It just continues funneling money at problems that need to be fixed with money.
Oh, man. There was a show years ago where this one guy was like, huh? No, I was saying there's a show years ago where a guy was doing that. It was like, I think one of those dudes in like one of those like Canadian-American joint broadcast kind of shows. I think it's James Purefoy, I think is the actor's name, but he was in like that Heath Ledger Night movie. Was the one where they're all like dancing and they play Queen?
What?
That movie with Heath Ledger where he played the jouster?
Are you talking?
Yeah, remember Heath Ledger was like a joust champion where he was like that kid who was his knight dies?
Oh, Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale. Yeah, Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
He played the dude who like he shows mercy on, James Purefoy, I think, right? Where there's that one dude who's like the prince and he's like, please don't murder me. I just wanted to joust. And he's like, cool, I won't. And it turns out that guy's the king. Or he's like royalty.
Oh, yeah.
But
okay.
That
man,
guy,
I watched that one time and I was like, why? I never understood why it was such a popular cult movie, but it was. Like, yeah.
It's fun.
But I only watched it the one time. I'm like, I don't know. It was okay. But actually, I'll watch it now and probably look at it differently, and I'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously, is what I think people liked about it.
Yeah, that makes way more sense now.
Yeah, it's just...
As a kid, I took it very, very seriously.
See, and therein lies the problem.
Yeah, I see that now. Like, Last Action Hero.
Yes. Yeah.
Misinterpreted the entire film as a child.
And now you can watch it.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's actually not a bad movie, yeah.
Yes, a really good movie, actually.
Yeah, I mean, because like it's one of those things that like it's self-aware. Like Commando is super self-aware if you watch it with those goggles on.
Oh God, it is, but it's like, come on, you guys, don't do that to people that don't know any better. Like me sometimes.
No, it is like the WWF of like of movies, where there are people on the outside who are like, no, he punched that guy in the face so hard, like right in the face. Like, no, man. The rocket launcher scene is meant to be played for laughs, not for you to be like, he took a rocket launcher that should be on the back of a helicopter and put it on his shoulder and doesn't have a trigger, but like he found a trigger. It's like, dude.
Did you see the log he was carrying earlier that day?
Exactly.
Week, whatever that was, the 1,000-pound log he was carrying on his shoulder. I saw that one too. Yeah.
Man, do you remember when he saw the reflection clearly in his axe of his daughter, so he didn't murder her?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's played for laughs, man.
A dull pipe through a man's stomach, thrown as a spear.
As a spear into a boiler.
Yeah, so powerful that it pierced the human body, continued into a piece of steel.
Yes.
Or iron. Welded
whatever it was. But I always
Easily.
make the joke about how, like, if he did that in real life, where's the big chunk of steak that came flying out and hit him in the chest?
That the pipe essentially vomited out first.
Yeah. Like, it hits him, and like, boom, this piece just like comes out.
You know what someone needs to do is add that stunt into another movie randomly.
Yes.
But do it that way and see if anyone's like, little do they know it's an homage to Commando, but I did it properly with the junk and the realism.
The intestines in the middle of the poop and the steak just like flying out.
And it's gross. So gross. Yeah.
It's so gross.
And they add in the commentary that it's like, I did that on purpose to prove that this is what Commando would have looked like.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, man.
Man, I don't know
People
if
watch that movie just for that.
Just for that one scene. I don't know if you've watched any of the new Magnum PI show, but it's like brainless junk food shit, right? It's actually not a bad show. It's not Magnum PI, but it's not a bad show. There's just like something to watch, right?
Was it not like Lethal Weapon junk food, the new animated, the new miniseries?
Yeah, same thing. Where they just like took a concept, remade it, different kind of a style, but it's still fun but dumb. And it's like kind of like somewhat self-aware as well. But they actually like portrayed a realistic gunshot wound for the first time. Like a guy got shot in the leg and he like went into shock, and it wasn't like he walked it off. They had to get the bullet out, and it was incredible pain from beginning to end. And he's like, before I pass out, please save my life.
He didn't just forget that he got shot 10 minutes ago and now walks perfectly fine with a bit of a limp.
Totally fine.
Oh, okay.
He's like, no, that thing's near my femoral artery.
He
was fucked up. He's like, I'm gonna bleed out. Like I'm gonna bleed out and probably die from this because the bullet went into my leg and now my leg is useless. He's like, immediately. But it's like that never happens. Like all of a sudden, like that's why I keep saying, like the movies have skewed the way people's brains like perceive reality.
The 5-second timer.
The 5-second timer.
Yeah.
The
like if that bomb explodes at 0, you are blown up by the shockwave of the blast.
Yes.
Because at 5 seconds, you should have probably been 20 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get away, man. I mean, like the building goes down and they just like, they're running out of a building exploding. But everybody's okay.
They're fine.
They're totally fine.
They got out of there before 0, man. Come on.
Gotta go before 0. Hey, you were saying you had a hike today.
Oh, yeah, shit. So Lavani does this all the time. Man, look what the hell just happened. We just went on this movie bullshit.
Tangents, man.
Yeah, I know. I forget. But it's been a while, right? I forget that's what happens. Yeah, I don't do it enough. Lavani does it lots, and then I saw that the weather was nice, and I've been dodging it and avoiding going, honestly, and for no reason other than pure laziness.
Yeah.
And so I said, fuck it. It's supposed to be +4 on Sunday. I told him, if you can find a good spot, the spots, let me know. Let's just go early in the morning. So we got out of there, left town at 6, drove to Kananaskis, did a 13-kilometer up, like not all the way uphill, but up to a peak called the Yates Mountain or something. Yates, I don't know.
All right.
It's a mountain. And it's a 13-kilometer hike up and down, and came back, got home at, I didn't realize I got home at 5:30, right? And I'm like, shit, I guess that was the whole day. But
not bad, though.
Yeah, that was cool. And I'm glad, because I was like, man, it's going to be it was raining and snowing all the way back. There was car accidents all the way back and shit.
Yeah, I got gross about an hour ago. Maybe 2 hours ago, yeah.
Really, really bad, yeah. And it's supposed to be -20 on Wednesday. So maybe I just get it in. My thought process is get one in before it's too late.
Yep.
And then you miss out on all winter, feel bad about it.
Yeah, man.
You should go more and hang out with Lavani more, because he's from Eastern Europe and he has no family or friends here other than a very small group of people. So
that's a real bummer, man. We don't.
Yeah.
We've never dealt with that. Well, you have to extend,
man.
right? You kind of moved out of your hometown for a little bit.
I did. I moved away from people. My parents. Well, my dad moved up here, but I decided to move away from the small town kind of thing. But I didn't really. It didn't affect me that way. For him, he hasn't seen his mom in over 10 years or something crazy like that.
Holy
in
mackerel.
person.
Yeah.
And he's only 30. He moved here when he was a kid with his dad.
Oh, get out!
A teenager. Or was he a teenager, or was he just in his? I can't recall about how many years ago that was, but it was. He moved here with his dad, and they stayed here, and then he passed away a few years later.
Oh, wow.
So Lavani was an adult at that point then, because he was living on his own. He was essentially taking care of his dad because he was pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his dad passed while after they moved here. So they moved, can't go back, moved.
Oh, so it was like escaping political strife or some shit like that.
Kind of, yes, in a number of different ways. And so, moved to protect him and to save them or whatever, essentially. And then, because, there was still a lot of turmoil with Russia in the 90s. And that's when he grew up. And but he doesn't, he has nobody here, and he has a few select people he likes to hang out with. And I am always like, oh, yeah. And so I'm an ass. And so, I should do it more.
Yeah, man.
So we did it today, and I think it made him, I think he was a lot happier. And you get to spend time, we catch up. It's a 3-hour drive. You just how's life? What's going on? How do you feel about everything?
That's awesome, man. Well, there's your charity work.
Sorry?
There's your charity work. There's your volunteer. There's your volunteer work.
Yeah, that is not. I almost feel guilty for calling it that.
Oh, God.
That should be teaching me to know better. That's my community service.
That's your community service. That's what I'm saying.
Do this more often, you dummy.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. No, but it is nice that you take the time, because you know what his situation is. It's just it's building his mental health up a little bit, right?
Yeah, because man, he'll go. He'll finds his own fun, man. He's not reliant on anybody. He's such a self-sufficient person. But there are people that he'd always just check, and I always said, always check with me, man. You never know. But I wanted to make a point of going this time.
That's really cool, man.
And it's just go on a fucking hike.
Yeah, why
am I not going on hikes? Go on a hike once a month.
That is one of those things. We always kind of think to ourselves, I should have something to do, or I should do this, or I'd walk on White Ave if I had the time. It's well, why don't you get in your car and drive out of town and walk in the woods and then come back? Mm-hmm. It's well, that seems weird. It's so does getting a coffee on White Ave with your phone.
And or just sitting on the couch staring into space, thinking about things you should be doing and stressing out about it because you're not doing anything. Stop the cycle.
Phenomenal point. Phenomenal point. Just go, man. What are you doing? I'm just going to sit at home.
Just drive out of town and walk around for 5 or 10 minutes in the forest or something. That enough for you is moments of reflection that we don't do anymore for some reason. I used to do that kind of stuff all the time. Not necessarily that type of thing. Just the reflection you get from a long drive.
That alone, that's it. I used to do that thing at nighttime where I would always just drive around, just around. I'd go in one direction, see some part of town I didn't know, and then just drive back again. But you got your music on, you got your sunroof open, whatever. What we do in Thailand when we're overseas. You get on your scooter, and it's 2 a.m. I'm just gonna drive around town.
Oh, it's so serene at that point. When the city is so insane, and then it's not even that insane, but it's active as hell compared to some places.
That's right. It's really active.
But there's a few hours where there's actually nothing going on.
Oh yeah.
And it's You got those wide lanes, man.
Oh man.
Remember?
Well, I know. I know them well. I've flipped a bike on those wide lanes. But no, like
I wasn't even there that much, and I just got so much out of the experience. Like compared to you and Luke going the amount of times you guys went, like.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, like I look back at how many times I've gone, and Luke has gone almost twice as many times I've gone.
Right.
And like I look back, I'm like, man, I've been there almost every other year or every year for the last 10 years, and he's there every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he committed to it for what? How was that? 10 years or 5 years, 6 years?
It was 2008 or 8, I think, the first time we went.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And then he was back every single year.
Yeah. Consistently.
Because I was like 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, 16, 16, 17. And then he was like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like he was there every single year.
Yeah. I think I just did the 14 and then
13.
Well, my 4 years ago trip came up and my 8 years ago trip came up at the same time. And I'm on Facebook again because of work. So all the memories, I was like, both of the trips that I went on last time this year was the time. Great.
Thanks for kicking me in the gut.
Yeah. How about you? Why don't you come back and just like step on my face or something? I don't know.
I mean, Yeah. I'm just sitting here.
It was funny.
Yeah, man. That's a bummer. Like when you think about how much better your life is when you're traveling.
I know. And I mean, I know it's kind of like you're escaping real life, but you're not. Like I could have been just as happy living there, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was like, if I stayed here longer and worked, I was this fucking close to being like, Matt, do you want a couple of days off while you're here at this hostel?
Yeah.
You
Why
work
not?
Here every day. Why don't you
should
just
explain
give me a place?
For people who don't know, Matt, our friend, owns a hostel where people can just go and hang out. And then you were pretty close to just being like, I'll work here 2 days a week.
Yeah, because you are here every day. You live here.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me a room here and and pay me what you think is fair for me to have some spending money and I'll work. Because to me, it's like, if I could do that for a year, I'd just like, fuck it, man. Like that's a year that I can just decide to do that with and now don't look back.
For sure. But
after that, whatever, go back home,
reset your mind.
I would have been, that was when I was 34, turning 35.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal at all. Even now, really. Like I look at myself now, I'm 42 and I'm thinking to myself, I've got like so much time left and I'm relatively so young. Like, I mean, I could just decide to up and take my shit and hit the road, get my camera and maybe like start selling photos again or just like start doing digital art while I'm over there and see if I can open a little shop, sell some t-shirts and just not be here.
Yeah, man. Like, why not? Or like, I've always thought of it like that. Like, if I'm going to cut hair and get good at cutting hair, I want to know it's something that I could literally fold into a bag and take somewhere and open up and do that.
What a good feeling, though. Like, what a great feeling that you can just put your stuff in a shoebox size, your livelihood, and it'll make you money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, if I go somewhere with literally nothing, well, anything I pick up is better than what I had before I got there.
Yeah. Exactly.
If I get a small house, if I get a little, and I don't mean I'm going to change my life and move to Thailand and live in a cave. No, I mean like the opportunity to travel and work in almost any country or environment for me, even if it's for a short period of time, is just like worth it. Like,
oh, for sure.
Even when I was if I was traveling just to travel, I would just do it anyway and then just give free haircuts or something to locals or something crazy, just something fun like that. Like
just something, you know what, making kids happy with free haircuts that aren't going to take your time or cost you anything. Like, it's a plug in your hands. Yeah, you get a tan. What? Like, I remember when I got there in, was it 16, and you'd already been there for a while. And I came and met you guys at the hostel. And you were basically running the front desk. Like, I came in, and, like, you were helping out. Yeah. And I was like, God damn, Dan is going to live here, and he looks really happy. Like, you were like,
welcome aboard, Saber. I know, man.
Dude,
I loved it there.
Yeah.
And those two girls were fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Just the trashiest. They weren't trashy, but to me, I don't know British chicks.
They were kind of
trashy. They were like so honest and sincere about everything. And Matt was obviously the best part was we got to be there for the three of them seeing each other after a long period of not seeing each other.
Oh yeah, they were chummy, man. They were really tight.
Oh man, well they grew up together.
Yeah.
And so then the two girls are like, hey, we're traveling.
Yep.
You have to fucking come see me, right? They were doing Asia, and it's like, I loved it because we were just along for the ride, man. I really wish we would have went out on a crazy. They were this close to being like, we should go get fucking destroyed. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna go insane.
Yeah, like we never really did though, huh? Like we never. I mean, it was a weird trip for me because I don't think I got drunk at all on that trip. I'm not a huge drinker anyway, but like when I go overseas, I just get fucking trashed. And
yeah, I usually do at least once or twice.
Once or twice, and I don't think I drank until we got really drank until we got to the wedding.
That's fair.
And then we titled on because we were making fun of a few people. We were having a pretty good time. Oh god, I'll tell you the highlight, maybe the highlight of that trip for me is when a person told us that there are no all-inclusive resorts in Thailand, and as they were talking, my phone rings, and you have texted me from across the table like a list of all-inclusive resorts in Thailand. I look at my phone, I look at you, and you're like.
And I was like, come on. I said, do you know why? In my head, I'm like, there's nothing at 2,000 or less.
Yeah.
They're all up because you're in Thailand. You don't need a $2,000 all-inclusive resort. It's cheaper than that.
It is way cheaper.
Like, that just drove me crazy because I'm like, you guys could have stayed here with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been all-inclusive, but you would have paid a lot more.
Yeah. They could have had a good time, though.
Yeah, or, like they did stay at they wanted to do a nice hotel near the end of the trip. So they totally did in Bangkok. They did the whole whatever the touristy one was to do. Yeah. Paid totally too much for beer and water. They knew, they didn't care. That was great. I'm glad they did that. But yeah, like you misguided ideas of a trip are just so like this isn't Mexico, man.
No, man.
And you can do Mexico without that shit too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, you can do Mexico on the cheap, all inclusive, and have a really good time as well. But, you've got to put a little bit of effort into finding it.
Dude, the people I know that just get a really nice Airbnb with a huge balcony pool. Like, I know a couple of families, they just got, like, a mansion.
Yeah, it's not hard, man. Like, my aunt likes to do the Airbnbs and the VRBOs. So we always do this little family thing. Because we've got, like, a few family members that we really enjoy traveling together. So me and my uncle, he's not that much older than I am. I think he's, like, 15 years older than I am. We get along really well. So we always go, and me and him just hang out, and my aunt, my mom, and whoever else with us, they'll go hang out. And then we'll get these like little places where you can just go get like 8 rooms in an apartment somewhere. And, you buy your own food, do your own shit. But like you're in the middle of some sea town. There's no tourists because nobody wants to see these tourists. Last time we stayed in this place where like all the celebrities like to stay, but we stayed in the off season, so it was dead. And it was just like, we basically had an entire golf course and resort like to ourselves. And everybody was like super nice and happy to see you, telling about who was there last week. Like,
you just missed blah blah. It's great.
We had actually just missed Joe Rogan.
Oh, interesting.
He had been there like a week before. Like he left a week before he got there.
Huh.
And the guy was telling us about it. Oh no, I was saying the guy was like the security guard is telling us about it. So that was like kind of neat, right?
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And like it's just. If you knew that you got there, I mean, I don't know, maybe he knows when the off season is too, and he got there just at the beginning of it. Who knows? Like,
you never know. Yeah.
I'm sure he's the kind of guy that doesn't want to be there with the rest.
Man, he wants to just like disappear. And you know what? We're like that too. Like we found a few spots where you can just kind of like when you get those places, you get access to a few private beaches. So you split the fee, which is I think like $4,000. You split it 5 or 6 ways, and next thing you know, you're all getting a little tag to go on a private beach somewhere. And you just disappear, and there's nobody there, and you're just like by yourself in the waves and hanging out.
Amazing.
It's just amazing, man. And like the food's cheap. No, I was saying the food's cheap, so you're not worried about like how much you're spending.
Yeah, and you're just like it's hot there. You're probably not eating a lot because it's you're just having a few meals throughout the day and easy to cook food. Also, I feel like your family is probably really fun to hang out with. Yeah, they're on one of those trips.
Like you've met my mom. They're basically like all like her.
For me, I think. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's for me. I was like, this will be great because everyone's just going to be easygoing and
super chill,
hanging out. They're like, they'll probably always constantly be asking me if I want to eat food because they're probably just like, "Are you good? Are you good? You want food?" I'm like, "Sure."
Sabe just made more food. I'm always cooking, man. Like we go over there because I enjoy doing it.
Oh, you do it there?
I do a lot of cooking when we're over there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love because I enjoy cooking anyway, and I've worked in a bunch of restaurants, so I'm just. That I fall into that mode really quick. And if I get a sharp knife and I get butter and garlic and salt, I'll make anything. Like I'll make whatever, cool. Man. So I really enjoy doing that. Next thing you know, like I'm just standing by the kitchen, all day long making stuff, and then we're all eating and having fun. Then you go to the pool and you just have a good time, relaxed.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, I think maybe what's going on is you're keeping busy the whole time while you're visiting and talking, and almost it's like you're unintentionally hosting at that moment.
Yeah.
And if you're just kind of putzing around all day, well, you're always just like in the kitchen and you're going to get a new beer. You know, it's just so much easier. When I go, the only time I really think of it that way is I was on a houseboat where I just got up early. And of course, the houseboat with a bunch of people my age at that age, I had to sleep on the worst bed, which was basically just the kitchen table.
Oh, gross.
So I didn't sleep there. I slept sitting upright in the bench. So I'd wake up at 7 a.m. after drinking all night.
You're like a hitman.
Yeah, literally, like I'll just fall asleep here for a couple minutes and get back to my day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You know, I'd start cooking something, and then it's just there, and you're just, all right, you know.
Yeah, before you realize it, you are kind of like the de facto host. You're hosting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody else is kind of like looking to you, be like, whoa, what's going on? What's cooking? Can I help? You're like, sure. Get a knife, get some potato chips, let's make something.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I enjoy that.
That's
I really
fun.
do enjoy that kind of stuff. We haven't had a chance, I think, like since or before, like 2016, where a big group of us that all get along got to go somewhere together and do that.
Why wouldn't we? I'm not somebody who's like, oh yeah, all inclusives, they suck. I'm not trendy like that. I would also go to one at least once or twice because it's somewhere you can just check out and be lazy.
Yeah.
But also doing that option, the Airbnb option with like everybody, like the family ones and the single ones and the couples, like this would be something Mike could do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If they saved up and bring the kids, if they wanted them to come there, and if it was only
fun.
a week, it's like, well, grandma's got the kids for the week while we go to Mexico.
For sure.
Like maybe, I mean, it seems like to me that would be awesome to see them, and if Luke and Toy want to bring Remy, it doesn't matter, right?
Well, but also like, how much fun would it be to have those kids around? Like, you know, because I like having little ones running around and goofing off and stuff while you're all playing on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, man. It just cuts the tension a lot of times. You're just there. Everyone's there hanging out.
Just doing a hang.
You know?
Yeah, and if
Uncle
you don't want to
Dan
hang out,
got way too much sun. That's why he's tired, not from drinking all day.
That's right. He's not drunk.
And he's good. And he's pointing his finger in your face like this. And the kids like that's what the kid sees.
What are you doing?
Drunk ass Uncle Dan.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. I don't even know you, man.
Oh, man. Imagine. Oh, good grief. Oh.
Yeah, that's something I would love to do.
Yeah, no, I think
love that
kind of traveling to me would be a lot of fun. I mean, I do enjoy doing the alone stuff. I've always enjoyed doing that kind of stuff too. But the group things every now and then, it just makes you feel like it makes you feel like you're part of something. It makes you feel like you're part of a community.
People, that like seeing each other. Yep. And it's not like we need to take them all to Thailand.
No. It doesn't mean that we all have to.
I'm a realistic human being. Like I like it if they're going to have like kids around and shit. If we're going to do an actual Mexico trip and like that. You're right, man. It just makes it just that much better. There's just more going on.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've been in a couple nightmare scenarios where I've been in like big family groups where it just turns into it de-evolves, right?
Oh, fair.
We're like, oh god, that was the worst thing we've ever done. But then you just know it sounds bad, but you kind of pick and choose who you want to go with. And you make sure you're with the strongest possible group. And if you want to take off after a while, you just kind of like ditch the group and you take off after a while.
Yeah, and like you guys have kind of your own rooms, you know, like whatever the hell they want to do it. If it's a house or if if that's the off season, Jesus, you could get like half of a whole condo unit building or something, like 4 floors of rooms.
Oh man, we did the place that we had was probably about, I would say 1,500 square feet, maybe more, like one apartment. So it was like an apartment of 1,500 square feet. It had 8 sleeping areas with like 4 bedrooms. So you had like 2 masters and then 1 big ass room with 2 queen beds in it. And then you had like another gigantic room with like 2 bunk beds and then 2 more sleepers on the other side. So it was like just all rooms. It's just a bunch of rooms and then 1 gigantic living area. And then like and everybody had a washroom. And then there's a washer dryer. So you can just kind of take care of yourself as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm big into that. Oh man. I also would like to do another like psycho trip though. One of those crazy kind of like what I do with India where you just go across country and test yourself.
Oh wow, hey.
Yeah,
oh man.
I've done a few of those already.
If I knew say that again.
I've done a few of those already, and I would like to do it again just to see if I can keep up like, a few years later.
Well, didn't you I feel like I only know about like the second one more, or like the because it was like you were better prepared, or the first one because it went way worse or something. I don't remember.
The first one was crazy.
I feel like they're all one trip in my brain, unfortunately.
Yeah.
because there were situations in all of them, like there were,
Oh my god, the first one was I didn't know anything about it. Like, I mean, I'm like, we're Indian, where we basically have Indian in our heritage, majority of it.
You can talk to people if you need to, right?
Yeah, like, I speak Hindi. Yeah. So for me, the first one, I had kind of gone nuts, and I went to Thailand, and then I decided from there that I was just going to do like a major excursion into India. My cousin just kind of suggested it. Hey, you should think about it, because I've done it once or twice, and maybe you'll like it. So without even thinking, I was in Bangkok, and I just went down to the embassy, and I got myself a visa.
Wow.
So it was like super spur of the moment. So then I went down and met Luke for a little bit. I did like, I think 6 weeks in Thailand, and I just left. And I did another 7.5 weeks where I just traveled from Mumbai all the way across to Calcutta in every like way imaginable. So I was like planes, trains, horses. I did a motorcycle. I did a camel. Like I did all the different modes of transportation all the way across into Calcutta. And now I didn't go south. I didn't go super far north, but I just went across one way.
Damn, you did all the way across the middle, essentially, the most middle you can do.
Yeah, kind of like the mainstream middle of India. I did right across.
Without risking severe death from isolation in a desert.
No, I did 3 days in a desert. Damn. I did a 3-day trip. I did one excursion that was a day and a half. I had 4 days. And I did another excursion that was 3 days. Where I'm 3 days up northeast. I went northeast-ish on camelback.
And that whole trip took you, it's like how long trip? A month?
7.5 weeks. About just under 8 weeks.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was just, man, I was in one of those places in my head where I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I mean, I had...
But why? No. I totally understand when you said you just did it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... But like, is it... I obviously don't know geography that well, but like, is India that fucking big that you have to
pretty big
pick how far you go, or do you were you like, it's not a rush trip? It's like, I might stay here for 5 days and then move on. So you took your time to do like other shit, maybe.
Yeah. So I did like, I got to Mumbai and I checked out the city because, I was in the slum. I stayed I was slum adjacent. So the hotel I was in, I'll show you some photos sometime, that like the hotel I was in was like a half a building. Like it looked like it had been bombed out. Because they were under construction, so they just like took one of those like diggers and just cleaved half the building off.
Just like get rid of this side.
Oh yeah,
we're good. Start fixing it,
dude. To get to one of the room I was in, I had to like walk across and then open a door. Not a door, like doors open, but because the wall is open, and then you walked across like a plank, like a scaffolding plank, to get across the other side of the building, and then you go to your room. Like that was the kind of hotel I stayed in. And then when you go down and out, you're I don't know if anybody knows what the CST is. But that's like the main train terminal. Like that's the crazy train terminal, the one all the movies show you. And I just across from that's where I was, and just out the door and around the corner, you're entering into like the slums essentially, right? And it was great. Like I just wanted to experience it. I wanted to walk through it. I wanted to see it. I looked like a hobo. Like I mean, at that time I had hair, so I had that weird ass mohawk, and I had like all my torn up shit and clothes and stuff. So I just like walked around looking a little bit wild. I was in a weird headspace too. I'd lost a ton of weight. Because, we were training and fighting in Thailand. So, I mean, I was in that headspace where I'm just going to I'm going to travel like a local. And then I just did all that. And then I did 5 days there. And then I did 5 days in Udaipur, which is like kind of northwest-ish. And then I did 5 days in Jaisalmer, which looks like an Indiana Jones type town. It's a walled city that's like, 1,000 years old.
Cool.
And then from there, I did like the temples all the way across, like Jaipur into Delhi, and then from Delhi I went down into Agra, and I did about a week and a half on the Ganges. Well, I got to row a boat with a guy, like he got to know me well enough to where I show up in the morning, and we'd row across the river, and he's like, I don't have anybody, so I throw him like $20 and we just like row a boat across the river, and he's like, him and his kid were like awesome, like it was so much fun, man.
Huh.
Yeah, and then from there I went straight to Calcutta.
You just took the boat every morning to get to a different place?
No, just for fun, because like he kind of knew me. Yeah, he kind of knew me because the guy who I took a ride with the day before, or actually, you know what? It was him first. I went down to the riverbank, so I wanted to take a boat ride down the Ganges. So I went with him in the morning, and we just did like one of those little boat rides. And he told me, come here tomorrow afternoon, and we'll do another one at the nighttime. We'll do the whole night tour. So we're talking and we're having a good time, and he showed me around. He showed me all the different ghats and stuff. And then after a while, I just went there in the morning. Like 2 days later, I went there in the morning, and he's like, "You want to go again?" I'm like, "Sure." Like, how much? He's like, "No, don't worry about it." I'm like, "No, here's like 3, like I think I gave him 1,000 rupees or something like that." he's like, awesome, man. So then he's like, do you want to row? So I'm like, yeah, I'll row. So next thing you know, I just show up in the mornings and row with the guy, like down the river.
You got this guy who's like, I got this crazy tourist that pays me to let him row the boat.
Exactly. Oh, it's awesome, man. And then from him,
don't tell anyone.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? I got this psychopath. Like, it's a great racket. Just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone about this money I'm making.
The cash I'm making, like $1,000 a day just for this schmuck to row a boat.
Every morning you're just there. You're like, here you go, like a crazy person. He's like, get in, take us somewhere.
Oh my god, it was so much fun. And then the next morning after that, like one of the mornings, I was at my, I was getting the internet because like this is like 2009, so I didn't have the phone internet access back then, right? And this one dude is waving at me. He's like, hey, come here. I'm like, no, man, I don't need a rickshaw ride. I'm good. Don't worry about it. He said, no. My friend is the boatman. And he said that, like, I should take you around town. So I'm like, oh, great. Now they're communicating, right? So I met this dude, Sanjay, who is, like, one of my closest friends from traveling, like, till today. Like, we talk.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking 3-4 times a year. Like, he's just, like, the sweetest dude. He phones up here all the time. He refers to me as his brother. Like, I call him brother. Like, he's just like one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
Like, just such a sweet guy. So, like, it was those kind of things that really I enjoy about that, you know, that Lonely Planet kind of traveling where you're by yourself. Shoestring traveling.
Yeah, man. That's interesting. Like, and I've always been curious, and I was like, I haven't done enough yet. I still have to do something like that. Like, I still have to do some more extreme traveling or more just like that kind of straight up. You're moving the entire time.
Yeah,
You're whole time. Like, or like you said, you know, it might be 3 days here or whatever. Like I would do that in a heartbeat. That would be so interesting.
It's so much fun, man. I bumped into this like group of Canadians when I was in Udaipur. And I thought they looked super German, but then I saw them get on the train or on the truck with me on the way to Jaisalmer, and they're all wearing Kokanee shirts, like Kokanee shirts and shit. So I'm like, Kokanee beer? Like, yeah, man, Canadian. I'm like, you got it. So we just bonded. Yeah. And we're the ones that traveled for like another week together. And then they had to go their way. I had to go my way. So we split up. And then we were like communicated for a long time.
That's crazy fun, man. I know. That's something I think that I still need to do as well. Like I haven't done enough. I'm not in a rush. I don't think I need to get a bunch done before I'm too old. So
no, man.
No, but and plus, like, we'll see when we're allowed to travel properly again.
Yeah. You know, like a year from now when everybody's got the jabby.
Yeah. Like, or if they're doing it and it's like, I don't know. I hope it just goes better and we don't have to stress out too much. That's all.
That's all I want. I just want like competent human beings in charge of the system. So
well, we can't have everything, Saber.
Oh my God, I know, right? I mean, right now we have a former crackhead pillow salesman, born again Christian, telling a twice impeached president of the United States how to run the CIA.
Also, that's so. I'm curious here. I wish I could. I wish I had a better understanding, but I really do try to avoid a lot of it now. I've had to in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's just too much.
It's way too much, man.
And just both sides. The side that won is still pissed off. That's the thing that drives me crazy. They're like,
oh my God.
That ain't it. Let's fucking stab his eyeballs out. Like, okay, sure.
Don't just beat him. Beat him to death.
Beat him to death. Yeah. So I'm like, oh boy, they're still mad. So, they're gonna put guards, and there's a fence around all the shit now.
Oh man, yeah, 10,000 National Guards
for the inauguration.
Yeah,
and it's because they think that Trump is going to use the military to force a coup.
No, they think that people are still riled up individually,
and there will be another attempt.
I mean, like yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, a dude showed up with like a rifle, an automatic rifle, and 500 rounds of ammunition, and just like walked up to the thing to be like, "Hey guys, so what's going on over here?" Like, what are you doing? It's like, no, I'm just walking, just going through, okay? Just going to go through. Like, hold on. It's like, grab him, because, you know, he's deliberately trying to, like, weasel his way through and buddy with the cops. But, like, now you're dealing with the National Guard and the feds and shit, and they're not schmucks. So they grabbed him.
No, and they got fucking itchy trigger fingers, man.
Yeah, man.
And I don't mean in a negative, the cop way. I mean, they're scared of what the hell they're working with now. Half of these guys have probably hadn't had to do shit in ages.
National Guard doesn't generally do that kind of stuff.
And then even just the other groups like the FBI, CIA, like they probably don't really have to deal with internal potential, whatever they want to call it, domestic stuff. Yeah. Extreme. Same way politicians have never had to deal with a pandemic. So they're probably nervous and scared.
I have no doubt. But they're
also bad at it. So
they're bad. That's the thing. I have no doubt they're scared, and they're also unprepared because they haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
so fair enough, but I didn't quite understand why the purpose was. I actually thought it was, they kept bringing up in other news articles how he had still like control of the military because he's president. And I'm like, what do you think that means though? Why would you think it means he's going to do something as insane as force a coup with the military?
Well, I mean, I think they're spitballing the idea, but the Joint Chiefs, like, I mean, if anybody doesn't know, they're spitballing. Well, they're spitballing his insanity is what they're doing, right?
Oh no, that's that's because he might be like, nah, fuck it, let's go.
You know what? Let's just fucking blow him up.
To do this. And then it's like, oh, National Guard versus the U.S. military. Oh boy.
I've always wanted to pit the military against the military. It's just it's bigly. I thought I'd do it.
What he learned though is the Top Gun music plays when you hit the button.
Yes.
And no one's ever got to do it, and they all know it plays it. So he's like, I want to be the one.
I'm gonna make the one to make the music play.
I'm gonna go out with a bang. Yeah.
The Joint Chiefs released a statement last week, like a memo they put out, and the Joint Chiefs are like the head of all like the military. And they were like, look, man, like Biden won, the insurrection was awful, Trump does not control us. Fucking calm down, because he's not gonna make us.
For everyone.
He's not gonna make us go against our own people. So how weird is that? The Joint Chiefs had
what
to
if they're Manchurian candidates though?
What's that?
What if they're Manchurian candidates?
Right?
Then they will go against their own kind.
Oh, God.
They probably
conspiracy theories. So many conspiracy theories.
But, yeah, sorry to jump like that. But,
no, but you're right.
Saying they're trying to remind people?
Yeah, they're trying to remind people. And I think they're also trying to reinforce among their own people. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter who you voted for. We know a lot of you may have voted for Trump. Like, we're here to protect humans from death on every side. We're going to stop people who want to kill the vice president, the president, whatever it is. And we're going to stop, people from insurrection on whatever. Like, we're going to calm everybody down is essentially what they're saying, right?
Well, because stopping the inauguration ceremony is purely, ceremonial?
Yeah, I mean, they could do it anywhere. It's basically like a ceremonial thing. He puts his hand on the Bible and swears to the invisible man in the sky.
So yeah, exactly. Love it. So stopping it is basically irrelevant.
Yes.
So the next option is something horrendously drastic, probably. Yes. So that's probably a good reason to consider the military, I guess.
Yeah, pipe bombs. They're going to start lobbing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like pipe bombs definitely will cause more of an issue than trying to shut it down. So.
How, bonkers is it that these same people who are too soft to go to war, like they're too soft to join up for the military, and they're afraid of, the so-called, ragheads coming at them, and the Great Brown Terror and the fear of a black planet.
Oh yeah, the terrorism.
Like they're so scared of that stuff, but they've turned into white ISIS. Like they've just turned into this whole. They're ISIS now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
the crazy vandals and shit, and the way everything is to this extreme, the way things are going in general down there. It's very violent. It's violence from people that don't normally seem to be producing violence.
Yeah.
So it's awkward. It's this awkward, uncontrollable violence that I don't understand. So that's a perfect example of it. It's what the hell happened that day.
Yeah.
Maybe someone more serious is now's my chance.
That's all they really need. They just need one psychopath out there to be I'll make, Tim McVeigh, right? They need a Tim McVeigh type to just get a truck full of poop and full of explosives and drive it into a building. That's what they do. That's in their mindset. And that is ISIS tactics. ISIS took your playbook from all you psychopaths in the 90s and used it over there, and now you're just using their playbook. But you actually wrote the original playbook.
So they took the playbook that CIA used to train domestic terrorists, and they trained their own terrorists with it by mistake, thinking it was something to train the regular terrorists.
Exactly.
So exactly. That's why they're suicide bombing. They weren't supposed to be suicide bombing.
Exactly.
But that was...
I love how it always logically comes back to the CIA fucked around over there. They created bad guys. Our so-called good guys steal their bad guys' tactics and use it against the CIA. It's
How come we're not learning from the CIA? Stop using the CIA.
That is such a Simpsons line. Does nobody see that? Stop using the CIA.
We should stop using them for everything.
Man. I love how right now too everybody's talking about how the Simpsons is predicting all these weird world events.
And now because it's been so weirdly accurate, coincidentally accurate, however you want to think of it, now they're just forcing it.
Yes.
I think.
Oh, yeah,
because I don't think there was anything super accurate about was there anything to that next one about the whole, like the overthrow attempt or whatever?
Nothing, man. All of that was just like a drawing somebody did in the style of The Simpsons. And like somebody tried to use that as showing like Willie was dressed up as that QAnon shaman.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, "Well, what is that?" Oh, so it was supposed to be funny, just like, "Oh, look, they're predicting it again," and they put it on because I thought, well, Willie does weird shit, so I thought maybe I hadn't seen that episode. It was newer.
Well, Willie does some weird shit. Maybe that guy just. Oh man, I think what happens. My personal opinion is, I think what happens is you've got very clever, smart writers on The Simpsons that just like write things that people were bound to do, and now like reality kind of converges because there's so many idiots out there doing dumb shit.
It's that. Yeah. It's that either they figured it out just coincidentally.
Yeah.
Because of like what we would do as people.
Yes.
Like that's just the general transition of us is to devolve into all their ideas. Or they were like the things that they never thought could ever happen.
Yeah.
Are the things they wrote about.
Exactly. And so
it's like,
sooner or later.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, these people. They're actually doing it. Yeah. It's like that weird thing. I think somebody said today, it's like, when did you ever think you would utter the phrase George W. Bush was a better president than Donald Trump?
Never. and I don't know anything about what they did. No. And I still was like, you know why George Bush is still better? Because he said, oh, no. Being president is the hardest job in the world. I would never fault a man for any of his mistakes.
Exactly.
and it's like, he said that about Obama. He's like, job's hard. Like he's like, what do you think of him as president? And they're waiting for that soundbite. Like nowadays, you get dozens of sound bites, and you say, what do you think of him, right?
I remember like
he's like, no, that's a hard job.
It's a tough job. Yeah, he did like an interview.
Like when I was back selling coke in the 70s and nothing. That's nothing like what I used to do.
Back in the day when me and Tommy Lee Jones sold a shit ton of coke. I mean, like
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
I should have kept him out of it.
Right there, but George Bush has proved he's a better president because he's respecting the office.
Yes. And like weirdly,
nobody has, not even Obama has respected the office. He has trashed his successor since the beginning.
Pretty easy.
What kind of respectful human being that tries to be above that type of rhetoric does exactly what Donald Trump did to him?
Yes.
When he was president.
The thing is, I think
like kayfabe.
It's kayfabe. Yeah.
He's setting up a later storyline when Trump wasn't president.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's setting up later by fucking with Obama.
I feel like there was this thing that happened during Obama where he took so much heat for being no different than Bush or no different than really like Bush Sr. or Clinton. Like he was exactly like those guys. He was corporate minded. He saved industries. He used the same tactics as Republicans would use. He wasn't super democratic, really. Like he had kids in cages at the border too. He did all that stuff.
He did. He's known for the most drone strike deaths in records in history or something.
Yeah.
Out of all the presidents that use drones, he has more drone strikes on his record apparently.
Yes, he has more
approved drone strikes
approved than anybody else. He wasn't exactly like the cleanest guy out there. Now he had a mess to clean up. He had a huge mess to clean up.
Exactly, and the Republicans fought him to everything.
Yep, they didn't make it easy for him. And I think he's also charming and witty and funny. And like once you pull that fuse, and he's able to be like, "Look at this moron! Look at that fucking orange idiot!" Like he'll do it. You know, he was that guy.
Pull back the veil, and you see what he's really like. And it was so weird to me though because it was so agenda based. Like it's almost like they hired him halfway through the campaign election stuff.
Yeah.
To come in and be like, okay, you guys are not doing so well. I'm going to come in and be like a closer, like the pitcher that has to clean up.
Yes.
Because they can't get enough hype against the fucking Donald Trump train, so they're like, bring in Obama.
Get the hype man.
Let's get the hype man.
Let's get the hype man.
He crushed it. Crushed it.
He was incredible because like nothing he said was insulting as like, look at him, he's fat and ugly and stupid. He's just like, here's what's wrong with him, and I'm hilarious, so I'll say it in a funny way.
I just put out a book. Yep. The book talks about how bad Donald Trump is. You should read it.
He's a monster.
He did also just put out a book around the time he was basically heavily active in Biden campaign.
Oh, for sure. I mean, for that age group though, it's gotta be hard to not like kind of like. I mean, he's not an age group in the sense that he's at the age where he's like witty or funny, but in the group of people, like you look at, he's not that much older than we are. And we look at the world through the same lens the guy like him would in the era that he was present. So for him, it's easy. It's just like he just sees a lot of angles and he makes a lot of comments, and a lot of them come across as like smarmy.
Well, and everyone for some reason thinks that his word is valuable for stuff. He was a he was a two-term president.
Two-term.
But he's just one of the other presidents. Why don't you go back and see what Bush thinks of this shit too? Why don't you go back and everyone's talking to Clinton because he's married to Hillary?
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's definitely value.
He got impeached.
Yeah, he got impeached too. I mean, but like,
that's what I mean. Like,
he got impeached for blowjobs. Trump got impeached for treason.
Like, dude,
I mean, like treason,
apparently there was
blowjob.
something. I heard there was something else where like he had done something really bad in their little secret groups of like a military related thing, and they needed to kind of like hush it.
Yeah.
So they threw the sex scandal out there, and they're like, you're gonna crash and burn, but this is gonna get you off the hook for the thing that you fucked up really bad, because he was heavily involved in Iraq again too, was he not?
Oh yeah, no, he was. Well, I mean, he was also involved in like there were not drone strikes, but they were definitely like I think they were drone strikes.
He was doing them on like Christmas. Remember they talked about it in that old Fahrenheit 9/11 movie or something?
Yeah, because he also I think ended up doing like a drone strike on a bus that turned out to be like a bus full of kids. Like they were.
Oh my lord!
They did a bunch of stuff like that as well. But the Clintons.
Yeah, and there was screw ups, and then there was something that apparently they covered up. Their one of their foundations they donate money to was like a huge scam, or they were going to get, I don't know. They just said they had to get kind of. Well, they were trading track his real problems.
They were trading on cattle futures.
Deal with an impeachment.
Yeah, no, but he had an organization, or he had people where they were getting funds from. They were organizing and trading on cattle futures.
Oh shit! Sorry,
so
man. I'm trying to move messages away from me.
No, that's fine. That's all good. I can see you. I can't see you, but you're back.
Okay, there.
But yeah, they were doing things that were like in the business world, in like like farming and agriculture. They were doing things within that. Like I'm pretty sure it was the cattle futures thing, cattle and pork futures. So they were speculating and trading on that within their organization, which like you shouldn't be doing. That's like a business type of thing. Like that's something the president should be involved in. And I think Hillary. Right, yeah. They end up saying like Hillary is involved in it. But when you talk about like the stuff that they're doing behind the scenes, that they're using an impeachment to get him out for that stuff. They're involved in like dozens of murders. I mean, like,
I know, like that Hillary hit list that they joke about. People joke about the hit list that she has of people
that
have died that have confronted her or confronted her organizations, and they all have suicide.
Yes, accidental car accident,
execution style suicide to the back of the head. Yeah, that's how I would do it, right?
He stabbed himself in the back 14 times.
Yeah, it just took way longer than he thought.
Yeah, it just took a while. I mean, it was like the paper cuts of death. Yeah, crazy shit.
Yeah, like it was actually someone was tortured to death that way by her. So
that's like the early era of Family Guy was great at like kind of like pulling over the veil on a lot of that kind of stuff. Like when when Laura Bush like ran over a guy and killed him. They're like,
yeah,
he just walks in the room. He's like, Laura Bush killed a guy, and he looks at the camera. He's like, Laura Bush killed a guy. You're like, oh my god, really?
Yeah, he just throws it out there because like he knows he can get away with it, right?
The Kevin Spacey thing. He talked about Kevin Spacey being a rapist before anybody.
He did.
Just go ahead and do
it. Well, because of it, it's that whole like they all talk at all. That's what I'm learning now about all this shit. Is it seems like everyone's talking and everyone knows. They just keep it to themselves in their Hollywood group.
Absolutely.
And that's how it's like, oh yeah, he always does that. It's like that's been going on for 20 years. What do you mean he's always done that? Why does everyone just let it happen?
Yeah, he's a serial rapist.
Yeah, and I don't mean specifically Kevin Spacey. I mean
Bill Cosby.
People that are, yeah, I mean Bill Cosby. God, like exactly. Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Man, I don't know if you were like how old? Yeah, how old? Like you're not that much younger than I am, so maybe you did hear it too. When we were kids in school, I remember one of our teachers brought in a Bill Cosby. Like he brought in his record player, and he brought in like a Bill Cosby record, a comedy album. And it was talking about, like, I think it was the same one we talked about Buck Buck, where they were playing Fat Albert, and Fat Albert had to sit on somebody's back. They played this game, like chicken fighting.
Okay.
But in that one, Bill Cosby talks about, like, giving a girl Spanish fly.
Well, because he does it in the frickin'... Oh, no, that's where I heard it. Oh, this makes it so much worse now, because I've never heard that record.
Yeah.
So the thing you're telling me about... there's some side story here. There's a YouTube video of where... he had his special barbecue sauce on the Cosby episode that he did, and it makes everybody feel better.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
And he's like, yeah, just put this in, because all the couples were kind of in a mood after, and it's like his barbecue always puts everybody in a mood, right?
I didn't even know that.
So they narrate this thing you're talking about from the record underneath the clip.
Oh,
or they play it.
Really?
And it's in slow motion, and it is so dark. And I was like, who made this?
I can imagine, man. I mean,
so now I know what that's from. The words that you're about to tell me about. So he does this on a comedy record?
Yeah. No, but that's exactly it. You're exactly on.
What is it? He's describing what, though?
He's describing basically roofing a girl. Like, if you give her Spanish Fly, she's good to go. Because, like, she'll be all loosey-goosey, and next thing you know, like, you're in there, man.
What if we find out that Spanish Fly was actually just GHB?
Well,
70 years ago.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it's essentially that. Like, I think that's exactly what it is.
What if its origins were in doctors would prescribe it? Because my wife just won't have sex with me, doctor. I don't know what's going on. Oh, here you go. I'll just put this in her coffee.
Like when they give ladies lithium?
By the time you get home, she'll be right as rain.
By the time you get home, she'll be right as rain, son.
She's laying on the floor.
Drooling.
Just wide open. He comes in. The doctor was right.
She was much more receptive to my charms.
That's a sketch comedy that someone should write.
Oh, I'm sure they have, man. I mean, like, it was in Tombstone, right?
Doctor prescribing GHB? Hell yeah.
For sure. Oh, for sure. Dude, like, I was, like, the same thing. I was talking about Tombstone when that one broad talks about how they gave her lithium to calm her down because she's all schizophrenic. Like, they would give you weird shit like that.
She must be on her period. Give her lithium.
Give her lithium.
She's going to go crazy and turn into a wolf before the moon.
Oh, God. But I mean, like, all the weird medication that people just give people to, like, this is just what we're doing.
Cocaine for longevity.
I mean, Coca-Cola. All that shit came from somewhere.
That book, The History of Addiction, the guy explains how cocaine was given to the elderly because it made them spry. And it's like a regular old man that can barely get out of the couch can now walk 9 miles in a day.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure you want to give that old man cocaine every day so he can go for his walk? Are you sure that's what you want to do?
His hips are just dust.
Yeah. He's like, I can't feel nothing. I can walk all day. It's like, that's because you're numb from the pure medicinal cocaine.
That's because you're numb from the waist down with the medicinal.
So,
oh man,
who was it? Was it Al? No, was it one of the really famous inventors from the U.S., I believe, back in the day, who got horrendously addicted to it for 12 years because
probably Edison,
something like that. Yeah. One of those guys. I gotta remember. But the thing is, back then in the day, their thought processes was that a weak mind or a mind that was susceptible to addiction was actually just an unintelligent mind. So us, a scientist, could never get addicted to something because he's intelligent enough to understand that you can't get addicted.
Yeah.
So it's only for commoners, right? That aren't smart. Shit, So he's like, of course I can't get addicted to cocaine. I will experiment with this drug and learn about the wondrous side effects.
12 years later, his eyes are wide open.
Cut to 12 years later, in a period of time where his nose was so destroyed that he would use a brush with water laced with cocaine and line the inside of his nostrils.
Oh, wow.
Because it was excruciatingly painful to inhale it through the nose.
Unreal.
So 12 years later, he realized cocaine is an addictive drug.
It took him
should not be taken lightly.
And it only took him 12 years to figure it out.
12 years of a horror. Yeah. So I just definitely agree that there's probably a good chance that GHB was doctor prescribed at one point as Spanish Fly.
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, for sure.
I hope so. That's great.
There was what was it? Oh God, was it heroin? I think we were talking about heroin with one of the guys. I'm pretty sure this is back in the day. I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't want to put words in somebody's mouth who's not here to defend himself.
Oh yeah.
But we were talking to a guy who we respected fairly well, and he talked about how when he had some dental surgery done and it was all mangled, and they didn't. This is like overseas. He's like, yeah, I just got some heroin. I went down, I picked up some pure heroin, I put it up there, and I just like rubbed it around my teeth, and it numbed my mouth. It made me feel better. And then after my tooth got better and the abscess was gone, went to the dentist, they fixed it. I did some more after they fixed it. I put the heroin away, and I never looked back because that shit's addictive. And I was like, holy crap. And he went through the entire process of thinking about it, researching it, acquiring it, using it, putting it away, and never looking at it again.
The benefits, the alternative, lesser-known benefits of heroin.
Yeah.
After you get backroom dental work in a foreign country, go get some pure heroin. Rub it on your gums. It will assist you in the healing process.
Oh, yeah. And he was adamant that, like, it helped, but the problem is people get addicted to it. That was his viewpoint on it.
Oh,
he's like, it helped, but, like, the problem is people, they don't go into it, like, thinking about how, like, it's just temporary. And I remember he was saying something about the pain, too. He's like, if you keep using it, it ends up being, like, a phantom pain. So we're like, you've got issues, and you'll use it.
A signal. I think I've heard of that where they said in worst-case scenarios, the brain starts to know that I need more of my thing.
Yeah.
So I need to replicate what the body was doing to get it. That's how smart our bodies are on their own.
Without us even knowing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just, like, oblivious.
Terrifying.
It is horrifying. Well, I always talk about the data thing, right? How your brain is always collecting data without you knowing it. And then, like, you'll see things that make you cringe about people. And then you might see some random person who you barely know, but your body's like, no, that guy's bad. Because your data is already formulated and it's giving you the feeling that guy's bad.
So our brains essentially work the same way that all the social media algorithms do now.
Oh, for sure. It's why I think we're robots.
It's like, it knows exactly how to get certain reactions out of you, to get certain chemicals reactions to occur. So it sends you in directions to things that their body's trying to kill us.
Our bodies are trying to keep us addicted. It's trying to keep us addicted and trying to kill
it before it gets me.
but weirdly enough, that's kind of like where I think we, like, I don't know. I mean, this is like one of those weird ass out there theories. But we are
the
like
a cocaine bender theory.
A cocaine bender or a bender on heroin theory.
A bender on heroin theory.
But we like the idea of us being like the end result of like perfect robots. That, like, I mean, well, they always break down.
Why not?
The metal breaks down. We'll get some soft tissue in there. Well, the soft tissue needs to be fueled. Well, make it so it can ingest something. Well, what can it ingest? Other meat sacks. So it's a meat sack that ingests meat sacks. Yeah, sunlight to keep the skin strong. So we're the perfect end result of this like robot. Like we are essentially a robot. We're like a self-sustaining robot.
Like basically nanomachines that they're thinking about now are what our gut biome is made of, essentially.
Same thing.
And then the stuff that we put in there, the gut biome, is sometimes like, what is this shit? Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
I don't even know what this is. And then it has to deal with that, right? Before it was nanomachines.
That's not cheese.
No, this is artificial cheese.
This is plastic.
That's not cheese. It's like the brain told me I wanted more cheese.
Yeah.
I need more cheese. Send more cheese. This isn't cheese.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's not like I used to make the joke about how like sometimes you just want a glass of milk. It's because your body's like, what has calcium and what has liquid? And your body's like, milk craving. It's like, well, because you need calcium and water.
Interesting.
Yeah, like that's what cravings are.
I don't get those as often, but the problem is if I haven't had milk in a while and I taste milk, I get like an addiction relapse craving. I'm like, like it's like, no, man, milk is not that good for you. Just eat it. It's good for you, but you don't need that much of it.
You don't need that much, man.
Like, to be actually honest, I would like to find out where I could get raw milk because I'm super curious about that.
I've got a guy I can hook you up with.
Do you actually?
I actually have a dude.
I mean, no, you don't. That's illegal.
It's illegal.
What you're talking about.
I have a human person that I can
gives human milk.
Rat milk.
Is it? It's pure.
It's pure rat milk. No, but I mean, it is illegal. But there's a person out there who I know who could probably help you out.
Well, I know that there's a loophole, and the loophole is if you buy a part of the cow, it's your milk.
Really? Oh.
I'm not even kidding. That's how you can get raw milk.
I wonder if that's how this person is doing it. You probably end up buying a part of a cow.
But you can't sell it for resale.
Well, you know what?
To sell raw milk and for private use only.
Yes. Yeah. No, you're right. Because that's, I think, what he was saying to me. He's like, please don't sell this. This is for you. And I bet you it's because you're buying a part of the cow. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the way he organizes it.
For me, if he owns the cow already, or if he has a guy that gives him free milk, or he buys free milk or raw milk from that guy because they're buddies. Yeah, it's still technically like. I think at that state, I don't know how it works, but I mean, if it's a private sale between like I'm friends with John. John likes raw milk. We're friends. He refuses to take it for free.
Yes.
Maybe you could barter. That's not illegal. I guess you could.
That's not illegal.
stuff, and this is his gift back to me for it. So
now I also have somebody else who
if that's what it was, man. If it's like, well, I gotta invest in a cow,
I'll do
get
it.
my own percentage of milk.
I'll totally
I would do that.
You know, I also have somebody else who I'll talk to you about later on, who I just reconnected with, who could probably help you out as well. But more on that later on. But yeah, I bet you it is like buying a part of the cow.
Dude, I want that. I literally, for me, again, it would be like, it's a once a month or once or twice a month thing where I think drinking it would be like a good vitamin nutrient source.
I think so. Yeah,
I know why raw milk is the way it is. I know why people want to drink it.
Yep.
I understand that there are health code stuff. I've also worked on a dairy farm as a child because one of my best friends lived on a dairy farm.
Oh, wild.
And I drank raw milk there all the time.
Man,
and I loved it.
Dude, my parents, like my mom grew up on a ranch. So like for them,
exactly.
Yeah, it was like every day you go and milk the cow and you bring it back and they would boil it and then like the cream would come up and then you take the cream and they would put that in the fridge and my grandfather would like eat it cold.
Damn.
Yeah.
That man is a savage.
Oh my God. They would leave like a bowl of like fresh cream in the fridge and he would come home and he'd be like, "That's lunch," because he like worked all day hard, right?
Dude, he would work. No, he would work for 3 days on that meal. That was so nutrient dense that he was like Popeye for 3 days. Like,
oh my God. And like he didn't look like a stout, like he was like a stocky guy, like Costanza body. But like he was the kind of guy who was like 100 pounds over his head. Like he's one of those guys, right?
Just casually, like, I'll just move it.
Yeah, I'll just move this guy.
Yeah, he's farm strong, man. That's what happens. And you're drinking raw milk, nutrient. Like he's like, no, leave the cream.
You know, leave the cream. Don't make butter. It
sustains me.
Yeah, I mean they would make the cream, the yogurt, and the butter and milk from like that morning's bucket, and that was just like every day. And like the cats, like over here, you can't feed this milk to a cat. There's so much formaldehyde and shit, and it's gonna kill the cat.
Dude, I want raw milk, and I want to pay. I'm willing to pay for it or pay to buy a cow. I've been thinking about that for like 6 months now. Yeah, man. And I was trying to Google it and find weird people that are like, yeah, we have it, but this is how you have to do it. And then I just Googled how you can legally do it.
Man,
someone had like, this is the only loophole.
Yeah, no. It's weird how you mention it because I just talked to another, like I said, another guy who you actually kind of know, who I think can maybe put us in the right direction. The person who I just talked to, who you maybe kind of know, he just mentioned about how like he's growing chickens. He's got tons of chickens. And he's like, man, if you just want like 10 chickens sometime, like come here and help me kill them. And,
or you want eggs? Does he give out eggs?
He does eggs as well, yeah.
Does he want to sell eggs?
I don't know if he's got enough to sell, but he definitely has a ton of eggs. But as far as chickens go, he's just started a chicken venture. So, I mean...
Well, if he wants to offload eggs because he doesn't like having that many but doesn't want to bother selling them, I will give him money for eggs based on some system.
He's probably listening right now. So, I mean...
Okay.
There you go.
I want to buy eggs and raw milk from a guy.
From a guy.
Doesn't exist. One day that'll exist for me.
It's someday.
Put it out in the universe.
Man, put it
for the best.
Put it out there. No, man, it's so good for you though. Like that. I remember like when you were in Thailand, and they don't do the stripping over there in some of the milk, right? It's like just ultra high temperature, and you drink the milk.
So wait, are you saying like even stuff you could get at 7-Eleven?
Yeah, I don't remember being. So I'm not entirely sure, but the way it was explained to me is they don't strip the same way they do here. Like all the stuff, like the casein and the whey and all that stuff. There's a lot of milk they don't pull all that shit out with.
I wonder. I believe that. I could see them doing that.
Because like they only do like an ultra high temperature pasteurization. They just boil it. They take the cream out and they give you the product and you drink it and you're fat.
Like, the chocolate milk, man. Oh boy.
It's not like here, man.
That's nothing like I've ever experienced in my life. And I haven't been in a lot of places, so I could probably, there's better, but.
I mean, I'm sure the Swiss.
Milk in Thailand.
The Swiss probably do something pretty good, but the Thai stuff is phenomenal.
What if the Swiss stole the idea from the Thais?
Oh yeah, it's just one big circle.
Imagine because like man, their chocolate milk is amazing.
I mean, the CIA trains them, and they get the food.
Train the Swedish terrorists to steal the chocolate milk formula from the Thais.
It's like Noodles and the Italians and Marco Polo and all that shit. He just like he just goes overseas.
It all comes together.
He rips a bunch of ideas off, and he comes back and he pretends it's theirs. We invented spaghetti. Like, no, what you made was noodles, you moron.
Put a different sticker on it.
Oh, God. That could be it. You never know. Hey, questions. Couple things I had in my head today that kind of come back in this because I was talking about a guy. What have you ever dealt with or met somebody who you knew or somebody you knew well that was like a complete liar. Like you just know this is a guy who doesn't do shit. He's always lying, all the time. It's just that guy's a chronic liar.
So the problem. Oh, I think I know like 2.
Oh.
The problem is. No, I do know 2.
Okay.
For
sure.
Sure.
I mean, you don't need to get deep into
one,
it.
Though, the funny thing is the other one never actually lied to me about anything. So, and I knew that because I never heard any of the lies that he told all the other people.
Oh, nice.
And they asked me if it's true. The problem was.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't actually know if it's true or not.
Maybe.
I've never encountered those topics.
Yeah.
So that person never actually lied to me about the lies he told other people.
Oh, so you were like on the outside, and then suddenly like somebody revealed to you that guy's a liar.
Yeah, he was mostly honest with me.
Oh, wow.
And most of the stuff that he was honest with me, I could double check because it wasn't really that outrageous. It was normal stuff. The other guy, I think he has like an issue with himself. You don't know this person. Mm-hmm. I barely know this person. Okay. I just know that you can tell when they compulsively lie to kind of, God, there's a reason people do this, and I'm not really sure what it, I know if I've read about it or something, or maybe it's come across it, but his style of lying is to like keep up a defense of something.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's just constant white lies.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of overfabrication of real events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like anyway, sorry to drag that out, but
no,
that's fine. I was like, gosh, I know 2 people that do that. And I was like, fuck.
That just like...
Am I a bad person? I
know No. I don't think you necessarily track them. I think they're everywhere. I think they're out there.
Right. Okay.
But you don't know.
So that being said, I know 2. So what? Why?
No, because like today I was trying to explain.
Did one of them actually commit a murder, and now I have to know if they committed a murder or not?
No, not at all, man. Actually, nobody that you know. It was one of those things where you're talking about like places that I've worked, and I ended up working. Well, the whole thing came from this like fake martial artist from years ago. So back in the day, like people kind of know that I worked as a private investigator for a while. And back in the day, like when we were in high school, I knew somebody who was in a martial arts studio here in town. And then that person who they were learning from was supposedly like just a grandmaster. He was like the top shit of like, you know, like mythologically talented martial artist. And then everybody kind of was like little by little as the years went on, we're calling bullshit on this particular instructor. And this is like a franchise. So anybody in Edmonton might actually know what I'm talking about by now.
Oh, okay.
And then
I wonder if I know who this person is.
Maybe. They're fairly old.
Or just I might know them, aware of them, I guess I should say.
They're pretty old by now. I don't even know if the actual person's alive anymore. But or would be fairly old. In their 80s at least, I think, by now. So anyway, after I got onto this little team of guys, I was like a junior PI. I was doing some loss prevention for a company that also did private investigations and like workplace investigation stuff, right? So I kind of got like mentored by a guy who was like a really good friend of mine. So we're dealing with this one thing that kind of happened, and then he had like court documents that he was involved in that had this guy's name all over it. So he let me read them. So I was reading through this like fake martial artist. And then I realized that this guy was just like straight bullshit, like from his own mouth. Actually, I'll text you because I've got them all written down that I was reading to another friend of ours. And from his own mouth about how he wasn't a martial artist. He was actually like, you know, a part-time boxer and a bit of a brawler. But he learned a little bit of karate, and then he came here and he opened up a martial arts dojo and then franchised out some friends, and everybody turned on him. So
and gave him, but he gave himself like a level that he never really attained.
Grandmaster. Like legitimately.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like
sounds
legitimately.
Like the kind of title you'd give yourself if you were a fake grandmaster.
Yeah. I mean, he called himself that he was like a grandmaster. His bio talked about how he wasn't allowed to join tournaments because he was too dangerous. All that kind of stuff. And realistically, like a high school wrestling champ would have fucked this guy up. Like it would have been one of those things where it would have been like a single leg, ground and pound. Like Vitor Belfort. At 19.
Yeah, just anything. Just any real moves at all.
Anything at all would have destroyed that guy. And then that kind of, I think, happened for some people. Like his abilities started to show its weaknesses. Like there were like really holes in his game that were starting to become more and more prevalent because the world of martial arts is getting more like aware. Like people started like learning more about like this guy's garbage.
On their own. A lot of people are going about their own and going to other places and learning stuff and then coming back and being like, that's not right.
It's not right. Like what you're teaching us is total crap, Mr. Seagal. So like that kind of stuff starts showing up a little bit.
How dare you speak ill of my glorious Lord and Master.
Stephen Ponytail Seagal.
Wasn't he a reincarnated god classified as that at some point?
I think now he's
by
claiming
an actual shaman.
Yeah, I think now he claims that he's like a reincarnated Buddhist monk or some shit like that. And that's
someone told him he is. They gave him that title.
I think so. He's got like I think in Russia too. Like in Russia, they're like you're like one of the monks that came here.
I think
something like that.
Or he bought his passport. He bought like partial citizenship or something of Russia.
I think so.
Doesn't he have that?
He's like a dual citizen now.
Crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that came up for the martial arts thing, and then it reminded me how about when I went to the casino, when I was at the baccarat for a little bit, we had two like glorious liars. I had one guy lie to us about dating a girl he didn't date, getting her pregnant, and then when we called him on that and talked to the girl who he claimed he got pregnant, he faked having cancer, quit, and ran from the building. He's like...
Sorry, all at one motion?
in the span of about, I would say, like 2 weeks.
Okay,
maybe less than that.
That made it seem like 5 seconds went by and he managed to scream out, "I have cancer, I quit," and then ran from the building.
No, yeah. So this is another guy who, weirdly enough, claimed that he was a high-level martial artist. So he got hypnotized at a staff party one time, couldn't do any martial arts because like he didn't know what he was talking about. Made a clown of himself. And then, I mean, not to laugh at a guy who's probably mentally ill, but then he talked to us about how he got a girl pregnant. So me and another guy who were pretty close with this other girl, we mentioned to her, like, hey, just so you know, like, Joe Blow over there says that he got you baby up because you've been dating for a while. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to have a chat with that guy. And then,
oh my God,
within the next run of shifts, he told everybody he had cancer, like stomach cancer. And then they threw him a going away party, like cake, farewell, like they were gonna like fundraise for his therapy, all that kind of stuff. And then he just ran, never came back. And I saw him a year later, probably about a year or two later, when I was at Reds, and he faked being like in massive pain when he saw me. Like he was fine, walking down the aisle fairly well, happy-go-lucky, made eye contact with me, and then like hunched over and grabbed his stomach because he's like now he's faking that he's in massive pain. It was weird, like, man.
What was it? Was it stomach cancer? Oh right, stomach cancer. Oh,
right. It was weird. I also had a guy at the casino tell me he had a fake leg from his like military service, and he did not. He did not have a fake leg from his military service.
Yeah, because he would be wearing it.
Yeah, no, but then when we called him on it, he's like, "No, the skin is like specially made." Like, are you?
No. I know a girl. Okay, thank you, because I actually know a girl at my gym that they did a documentary about because they got her a $30,000 leg because she's a Canadian sponsored athlete. Oh,
I've seen that. Like, it was on the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a blonde girl?
I'm pretty sure we've seen that. It was like a year or so ago.
Yeah, so pardon?
It was like about a year ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she'd been there training with Carrie, like one of the best trainers we ever had. God, she's amazing. Mm-hmm. Just a great person. But yeah, Carrie was training her and they were killing it, man. And that chick is just proving that you can get it done. But she's like, yeah, man, well, this freaking leg is $30,000. It better
hold up.
And I hope I hope it does what it needed to. Like, she was proud to have it, but that didn't have no hybrid fake skin on it, man. Nope. It's just a fake leg, but it is a $30,000 leg. And if that didn't have skin, your shit ass military leg that they gave you did not have skin on it.
Oh, he probably didn't. I mean, not probably. He definitely didn't even do military service. He didn't have any military service record at all. No, man. I mean, we had guys like that there. Like, by then I had done like junior level PI stuff, which was like shit work, really. I mean, if anybody thinks it's like a big glamorous job, it's not. You're sitting in a car, you're getting minimum wage. It's a lot
of loss prevention and like, what is it? You collect on people scamming workers' comp.
Yeah, we the guys who we worked for were doing the overflow for stuff like that. What we did was a lot of domestic disputes. So if somebody is cheating on somebody else, we'd sit in front of their house for like a day, get a photo, and then go and tell somebody, here's your boyfriend or here's your husband, whatever.
Yeah.
That was it. And it was like the most boring. It was like, it's not glamorous at all. But we had guys in the casino tell you how they were like they used to work for CSIS and they were like, special military forces bullshit. You're like, well, why are you not fucking doing that? What are you doing downtown Edmonton?
How'd you get out of the game, man? How'd you get out? It's too dark.
Yeah, man, kicking out hobos from the baccarat.
No, because this is easy, bro. Now I'm I'm a low-key security guard. I don't got to deal with real danger, bro.
God. The best was like if things did happen, like how little skill they had in de-escalation or like even trying to like grab a guy and just get a gooseneck in. Like you don't You don't
like
know what you're doing,
now, like my de-escalation is probably my strong suit more than anything else because I don't have any fight training. I literally just have on-the-job experience and trying to prevent my own head from getting smashed in. And so I'm not just going to dive in head first. And if occasionally I've had to, well, I do the best I can.
I remember you being like, for as long as we worked together, you were always really good at talking guys down.
And I'm honestly, man, the funny part is in high school, always around when there's a huge brawl, always. Never got punched in the face. I always ended up just falling into this crowd control position where I would see a guy that I don't know or don't like on top of one of my friends, and I would throw him off and pull my guy up. And I never got sucker punched. I wasn't ever paying attention. I would have got my ass beat. And it was always, I'm pulling guys out, I'm picking guys up, I'm pulling guys off. Like, that's it.
You never punched the ref, man.
Yeah. And so it's like, did I already know how to be a ref before I was a ref?
Could have been.
So then when I was a bouncer, I always ended up being crowd control again. I was like, if I saw one of our guys winning, I didn't go near him. And if I saw a guy underneath or struggling, I jumped in.
Yep.
It was like quick containment of a small one to jump onto the next one. But I never got sucker punched. Why wasn't I getting sucker punched by just because I was not paying attention? You know? Like,
no, man.
I was lucky.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been luck, but it could have also been like a recognition that you weren't getting involved. Like people could have recognized, like, you know, he's calming shit down. So,
but I've seen that, but I've also seen where they're just like bouncers are up, they get hit. Like I see situations in different ways where there's a big enough crowd of guys where it's just like bouncers versus our crowd, and you know that you're gonna. If there's a free guy up, you fight each other.
Yep, that's par for the course.
I always try. I tried to avoid it because I was like half the time I don't know, man. I always is like, I'm going to avoid a one-on-one confrontation with a guy if there's a group of us fighting because no one knows I'm down if I'm down and I can see everybody right now. I would always like, in my head, looking back, it's more like I maintain distance from a one-on-one fight so that I could see everybody. And maybe that was protecting myself, but thank God, I don't know.
No, I mean, there's also like something that a lot of bouncers, and I'm sure this happens in like law enforcement as well, when there's like large scale, like, you know, hand-to-hand groups fighting kind of stuff, where there are people who, like, everybody wants the glory of, like, I choked that guy out, I pulled that guy down. But nobody wants to do, like, the most important job is a perimeter. Like, the most important job is perimeter control. I
don't know why I'm like this, but, like, all the boring shit of the jobs that exist, I'm like, oh, I'm great at those because they're so easy and you can just leave me alone and I'll do it really well. Yeah. That's, like, the not exciting part of being a bouncer where I'm just like, I'm great at it, and I do a great job at it. And
man.
You know, like, you do have to throw in a little bit here and there, but it's just to help a guy that you're on the same team with.
Yep.
But I'm always like, oh yeah, that's probably the really boring one too. And I'm like, cool.
It's so important, man. But you know what? It's also like the most overlooked and arguably one of the most important things is doing the boring work.
Dude, do you know what? I'll say right now, being a death metal singer sure comes in handy sometimes because in a place like On the Rocks in the middle of the dance floor, I'm literally like, get the fuck, the way I would sing, and they're like, okay, yelling louder than the music. I have to call how, like they don't know how I got so loud.
It's like you're reverbing his neck.
Yeah. Because at that point, it's not people we're fighting; it's the rest who are like now trying to get involved because they think that we're beating them too hard, or they think that they know how the fight is going.
Oh God,
so we're all just don't want to get the shit beat out of us.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to yell at people and get through to them like a dad. You know, like maybe that's what it was. I sounded like a death metal dad.
It could.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here! Oh God.
Title of today's episode: Death Metal Dad.
Death Metal Dad. I'm also like I'm whipping cell phones back into the crowd. Like I remember seeing all these phones go on. And I'm like, you lose a phone, and you lose a phone, and it's just like.
That's mine.
Don't record this shit. You should know better. Like,
freaking telling you, man. If I get one camera in my face, but that is something that I got out just when that was becoming a big deal. Was the cameras? Like,
you were so lucky.
Yeah. Because, was I ever? I mean, I was the last person who should be in a room with a video camera.
It was still not that casual to be able to pop out your freaking iPhone and snap a whole story of a guy because people were still trying to do it on their shitty flip phones.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know, that's still that transition period where we did not have 4K cameras to record this awful, and you know, like. Oh yeah,
it was hard to like pull out your iPhone, turn it on, unlock it, get your camera. Like before, it was like tap camera. It's like it wasn't like that back in the day.
Plus, like, does it take how much battery? You were worried about all this other bullshit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, back in the day, man.
Thank God you left, man. Thank God you left. I remember that night.
Yeah, no, it was they were not good times. When I left, I was told when I was like starting, when I first like way back in the first gig I ever had with the guy who I consider who was like my Wikipedia or my roadmap of how to like be a bouncer or do security, all that kind of stuff. He was a lot older than us, and he was ex-military, ex-MP, and he was ex-RCMP, and he was like super disillusioned. So he was just doing like loss prevention and like doing like the PI stuff. He's like, let me tell you something, man. This is like the most important thing I'm going to tell you is there's a CBC camera crew watching you all the time. And that was his idea of like, you know, when you fuck up as law enforcement, the CBC is always there to get on camera.
Oh God,
man, that was like ingrained in my head to make sure it's like, make sure you're always, and you know, after a while when I got more disillusioned, I was getting like far more aggressive and, you know, I wasn't thinking about that anymore. But in the first 15 years,
I get it.
Yeah, the first 15 years of my door career, security career, I always thought about that. It's like you're always on camera, you're always watching, you always smile. Even if you're yelling, make sure you're smiling. Because it looks good. Damn. I mean, if you're well dressed and your boots are shiny and you're always smiling, you can tell anybody anything.
If there's no sound, if there's no audio of what happened, you don't actually know what he was saying.
Yeah, but I mean, if your shirt's untucked, really clever. Yeah, man, and your hair is not combed and you're mad all the time, like it doesn't look good on camera. But if you're smiling, it doesn't look good, right?
Yeah, I don't know. So that was when we talk about where my de-escalation got so good. Man, you should have seen me probably in the last year because I hated my job, but I think I was even better at it than ever before because part of me that didn't care was more perfectly fine with chatting it out with somebody about why I'm not going to do what they want me to do for like an hour, and then they just give up.
It's so
and they're just like, damn it, man, I guess I never really saw it that way, man. I got to rethink my whole life. Like, hey, you know what? Have a great day. And they're like, how come you're so good with everyone? Like, because I hate them. Because I'm always angry.
Oh, man. Because I'm always angry. I'm always mad.
Exactly. You wouldn't believe the nice conversations I'd have with, like, coked out escorts. And, that, like, you know what? If you'd have maybe done a little less sort of what you did before you came in here, I'd have let you in. But you can't. It's like, what are you talking about, man? You know, like, oh, so. And then she tricked me. This is a great story, actually. Totally blasted out of her mind. Huh. Here to meet a guy on a date. Sure, that's normal. You did too much of whatever you did, and now it's really obvious. I'm not going to let you in if you'd have calmed down before that.
All right, then. Together. So, okay, this is like a coked out escort. Or like a coked out brown. Yeah,
sorry. I'm doing front door at a bar that I at that point in my career where I think I was pretty good at talking people down out of shit.
Yeah.
And it was an escort, a private escort that was meeting a date, which is totally normal. I'm not criticizing that. Once I realized what it was, I saw it all the time after that, you know. Yep. But this girl did too much party time before she came in and decided that she didn't want to calm down about it. Well, anyway, I wouldn't let her in. I think like a week or two later, she came back and I scanned her in and she got in. And I was like, God, I know that chick from somewhere. And I'm like... And she was classic, hyperactive, and just like, you know what, man? You're dead, bro. I'm gonna get you fired, I'm gonna get you killed, blah, 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 like all the shit, all the cool stuff that they say, right? I know guys, da-da-da, XYZ, you got a small dick, whatever you want to throw the book at me.
The whole thing.
All night. And I was like, sure, yeah. I'm sorry this worked out this way. Like, I really was. I would have let her in if she'd held it together for like 5 minutes.
This is like the first week. The first time she showed up.
Yeah, so the second time she got in, and I scanned her. I'm like, God, who is this girl? Couldn't figure it out. Right. Leaves with her John an hour later and turns around and goes, I got in. And I went, I knew I remembered you. And then I'm like, you're way more sober today. And then she's like, bye. Like, just... I laughed so hard. I'm like, she got me.
Oh, she fooled me.
But what did I tell her to do last time?
Come back sober. Yeah,
Keep it together.
Keep it together. Yeah. Man, oh my God. I worked with a lot of prostitutes back in the day. Like they used to come to the casinos all the time.
Well, dude, yeah, the stuff you were saying about the casino, obviously it's a casino.
Yeah, but they're like they're always like that. Like they get way too riled up, they get way too coked up. And when they're not, they're actually like a lot of them are like so disillusioned and fucked up in the head. They're actually kind of funny. Like some of them can be pretty good stand-ups.
She was hilarious, and she was so quick. She was like on it with insults and stuff, and I'm like, man, this is going awesome. And the best part is an ex-coworker from another bar had stopped by just to chat.
Yeah.
Real nice guy from a small town, like real nice farm boy. He worked at Denizen Hall, which is like a much younger crowd.
Oh, yeah.
He's never experienced the kind of stuff that I would experience at these bars. And he stood there the whole time and just was like, he would look at me and he's like, "What is happening?" I was like, "I'm just talking her through it, man. You know, like in front of her. I'm breaking the fourth wall. Like she's not there for 2 minutes while I talk to him, and I'm like, she's not there.
You're Deadpooling with this guy.
I'm like, this coked out escort and blah blah blah. I didn't do any drugs. I'm not even high. I'm like, there's no way that you didn't do. I kept saying, there's no way that something didn't occur before you got here.
Yep.
That isn't obvious now. Okay. Like, I'm like, listen, lady, it's too obvious. Do you want me to tell you what's obvious?
You're on the cocaine. You're on the cocaine, lady.
You know. But the funny thing is, there's guys that would go there all the time. They're kind of ugly, awkward dudes, and they have a drinking problem. Mm-hmm. But they they have a date with a regular girl, and they're usually sober too. They don't even drink when they're there half the time. It's like you start noticing the little dates they go on, and it's pretty cute.
I mean, you know what? That's the thing. Like when you start seeing the regulars who come in there, and they're kind of like, you know, they're not grotesque, like ugly human beings. They're just like down on their luck losers, or just like slobby guys, and they're harmless, and they're picking up a date. The
escorts this guy leaves with are cute.
Yeah.
They don't even drink when they're there. Some of them actually would leave because he got too drunk too quick, and they're like, I hate it when he does this. They say they're like, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he'll get too drunk. He's a lovely guy. He just gets too drunk and then they leave.
Oh yeah.
Like, wow, this world that I'm just like looking at, this whole other world of like normal lifestyles for these people.
Dude, it's wild. It is like when you start seeing it, and like if you'd been there, like obviously not if you'd been there longer, you did see it. There is a left, a middle, and a right. And I don't mean like politically. I mean there's like this side, there's the middle side, and the right side. There's these like super liberal hippie type, like, you know, easygoing like hookers, call girls escorts, whatever, and they're into that easygoing guy. And there's this middle one that is just like business. We're just here to get the work done. And there's
the guy has a schedule. He likes to keep his routine the same. His shoes have to be placed in the exact spot every time.
Exactly. And then there's these psychos that are just, this is like almost criminal.
there's the wasteland.
Yeah.
In Fallout New Vegas.
Yes. And then, well, you know what? I'll even put it worse. There's the wasteland in New Vegas, and then there's the fucking Bad Batch. And the Bad Batch is it's just Jason Momoa carving up some broad on a table. It's like, oh god.
Oh yeah. It's like we also eat the hookers.
We also eat the hookers.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Oh,
that's got to be expensive.
Hey, speaking of cannibals, did you hear about that Army Hammer likes to fucking eat people?
Okay, I saw a thing about it. I heard, so again, all I saw was the words Army Hammer drama.
Yeah.
So is that what it is?
He's a chud.
He eats people?
He's a chud. He likes to fucking eat human beings.
Okay, hold on. He's openly admitted to cannibalism?
He hasn't openly admitted to cannibalism, but he talked about how that's something he's into with a few different ladies. He's apparently DM'd. He's slid into the DMs of a couple dames and talked about drinking blood and, you know, cannibalism.
Interesting. Cannibalism. Yeah. Maybe to them cannibalism is blood drinking too, right? I don't know what why
he may or may not have had a Red Dawn.
Why is there an actor who has to be this way?
And like the photo they use, man.
Why are you doing it?
I don't speculate. Just don't even report on it. But they showed a photo of him where he's like he's dressed almost well dressed, but his hair is just out there. His beard is out there. Like he looks like stage 1 Charles Manson. And like
this is recent?
Yeah, this is like a red carpet from like a year ago or some shit. Like Army Hammer cannibal. Like, oh, okay. Well, with that photo, clearly.
So okay, so then he's DM'd girls that are into weird goth shit, spooky shit.
It looks like
I'm assuming.
I think that's all it is. I mean, I'm not gonna. Whatever he does, man. I don't think he's a legitimate cannibal, but I guess like there have been times when he talked about he went hunting and he ate like a deer's heart, then he drank the blood, and he's like, "I drink your blood. If you died, I'd eat your heart." And then he got deeper into that. So
his cutesy, manly man flirting, is now been taken out of context as cannibalism. And now he has to deal with that. That
is probably more accurate than what's actually being talked about. I bet you, like, he probably doesn't understand that his humor is coming across as dark. And I think the people getting it don't realize that he's just being flirty, but his humor is dark.
So those girls are too young for him.
Probably exactly that. I think it's probably exactly that.
What he's doing and taking it in a literal sense.
Yes.
They are 19.
This is not like Chris D'Elia hitting on a 16-year-old. This is Army Hammer hitting on adults, but they don't get his humor because they're 19.
Oh.
I think that's what it is.
Actually, I don't think it's him hitting on teenagers. I think he's hitting it on young girls that don't know that he's being like spooky. What do you want me? I don't know. They love it. Everyone is now. Everyone says spooky about like that kind of shit. Everything is spooky, and I hate it because
dude,
like,
if this was the '90s, he'd just be a goth, and it'd be weird shit that he said, and people would forget about it.
He'd be what's his name from Typo Negative, like the sexy goth that all the women wanted. That
exactly.
Giant dude
yeah, exactly that. Yeah, he'd be that guy. Typo. If people don't know, Typo Negative was a fucking band in the '90s. I mean,
I've lost all of my credibility as a metalhead because I forgot the name of that guy.
Oh, no way. Oh yeah. So now they've already shunned you.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I've lost it. They're gonna come to my house and shave the tattoo off of the cheese grater.
Oh God. Good Lord.
Any minute now, I might have to cut this short. And then they already know.
They're already knocking on the doors. They're coming after me.
Okay, so Armie Hammer decided to playfully be a cannibal. Is that literally? Do we know that or?
Yeah, I think like the joke is Armie Hammer is a chud, but in reality, I think Armie Hammer is just a guy who probably, like you said, I think the reality is more along what you were thinking. Is that he's just
a cutesy chud.
Yeah, he's a cutesy chud. He's a cutesy goth chud in a tweed jacket. He's a goth in tweed.
So, in the topic of eating the heart and the blood kind of thing, that's like the thing you're supposed to do when you kill the animal, apparently. And what I find fascinating, it's like a hunter's ritual.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that.
No, but like what I'm blown away by is I thought you would get sick from eating the heart. Like you get the shits or you get food poisoning because it's a raw animal heart.
Well, it depends on what you eat. Like if you ate the heart of a chicken, you're getting salmonella. But if you
Right.
But venison.
So red meat hearts?
Yeah, I think if you eat like any red, like venison, beef, like cloven hooved, like, devil animals, like I don't think you get it because there's, like, that bacteria doesn't exist. But I think if you do enough of it, your system will reject it.
Well, that's what I'm asking. It's like how much of a raw organ can you eat before you get sick?
Probably a bite.
There, so I'm okay with that because I think I would want to try that. I would actually be curious about drinking. And what about parasites? Will you drinking blood?
Yeah, you drink. I mean, there's got to be blood. Well, you know what? Then there are probably animals out there, clearly, that have like what's that one that the deers get? They get that zombie thing that deers have.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know what that's called. But I know the zombie thing.
It's like their version of like Legionnaires or whatever it is, but like
they're just really crippled. They just wobble around more.
They're all like the parasites in their blood make them move, but they're there, but they're not there.
Yeah, because the parasites don't actually know how. They're like, this is how you move the legs, right?
They're just like pulling tendons.
Like a bad robot.
Yeah, exactly. It's a marionette from a guy who's had his hand broken. Can't.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Anyway, but there is that. But I think if you're a hunter and you're hunting certain animals, by the look of them, like I'm not a hunter, so I don't really know, but I would imagine by the look of it, you would know whether or not that animal is diseased, right? So the risk is there, but probably not 100% risky.
Because I want to try that. I think that'd be fascinating.
I think it's fascinating. I think there are certain things that are, in a way, oddly respectful towards the animal you've just killed. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure, when you look at the old-timey caveman hunters, they all did something like that to,
Well, even in other countries where they still kill a fresh meal every day.
Yeah.
If you go there and you want to experience that, they let you do all the same stuff. They're like, just do it with us. Drink the blood, kill it, skin it, whatever. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Bourdain has probably, or when Ramsey had that thing, they made him do it in one of them. I think Bourdain did for sure do it. I'm pretty sure I heard people talk about that. That was one of the crazy things that he was like, man, I couldn't believe I got to do that. Don't quote me on that. I just remember that's how I heard about it through a story someone else told about him. So I think you're right. I think so. But either way, yeah. So, okay. Well, is there other weird celebrities now? I'm really kind of glad that I don't know enough anymore. Man, the only reason I think this, honestly, this last week where I started getting into it is I'm doing more for the show on Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot more. I get that. You're more, and it makes sense. Actually, here's something I did want to bring up, which I thought was funny, is I learned about the Armie Hammer thing from the same video. I didn't watch the whole video, but so do you know who Belle Delphine is? Yeah, I do know who that is. She's some sort of OnlyFans broad, right? She does cosplay. Well, and she was just on Instagram, obviously, and then when OnlyFans came out, obviously transitioning over there was a thing because they were like, do a Pornhub video, do porn, this. She's a cosplay sex model. It's not like she's anything more than that. She doesn't care. That's what she knows she is, and she's proud of it. Whatever. This girl's clever enough to sell fucking fake bath water. She's making money. Oh, what? Hold on. Did you know about her? Yeah, no. Dude, she sold it. She's because someone actually said, or someone's like, I'd drink your bath water. That's the joke about, I drink that girl's bath water. Well, there's poop in there. Yeah. So she filmed a video sitting in a tub, scooping out bathwater that she was sitting in and just capping it in a branded bottle, blah, blah, blah. And she's put it for sale and people bought it. And then it's like everyone was pissed off that it wasn't what they wanted and what they thought. And she's like, you got exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
I'm not at fault for you buying it. And I'm like, yes.
Good for her.
Drink that bathwater, you idiot. Drink
Good for her.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a controversial thing. Recently, she posts, so here's the worst part is what I'm trying to bring about this. She's obviously on OnlyFans, basically only that because everything she's been banned from because it's too sexual, right?
Okay.
So everything she's been banned from is because it's too sexual. Fine, whatever. So she's on OnlyFans. What I've discovered now is people are protesting her OnlyFans account because the recent photo shoot she did was too trigger warning graphic for people. And she's like, if you're following me for content on here, it's all sex content and sex fetish style content.
You know what you're getting into.
How are you getting triggered by this scenario style fetish photo shoot? And so it was her tied up. She looks like a little girl already.
Yeah.
This is the way she looks, right? So
she's
wearing
like a really
she plays up on it.
Like porcelain-y look, right? She almost looks like she's trying to do like an anime and small porcelain
features,
face.
And she's like 21 or 22, but she looks very, it's the childish thing. She plays it up, man. It's her gimmick, right?
Yeah.
So she's wearing very like girlish, childish, like a dress, and it's all wholesome, but she's all tied up in the back of a car, and there's like an abductor, and it's all like fake rape scenario fetish shit.
Sure.
That girls are into. There are girls that are into it.
There are lots of people.
And I'm not saying I know that. I'm saying she had to defend herself because people were like, "This is too traumatic for me. I can't." You're trivializing rape. They said.
Look, man.
And I'm like, come on, man. It's clearly not real. It's clearly fetish porn, and people were trying to go to her side and say, "No, clearly this is a kink style. This is people know it's a kink. This isn't anything new." And someone's like, "That doesn't replace the fact that it could possibly trigger someone."
But
so we're worrying about shit that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean,
it hasn't happened.
That's messed up. Here's the problem I've got with that. I get it. If you were watching, let's say, like, I don't know, Wheel of Fortune, and the puzzle was like anal rape or something, and you're like, look, man, I'm watching a show with my kids, and the word rape is on Wheel of Fortune, but you're going somewhere that you know is like the dark part of the light part of the internet. Like, you're going to the dark part of internet light. And you
didn't seek out actual torture pornography. You went to a subscribable registered service where she's a registered domain holder or whatever you need to do to be on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And you pay a monthly subscription to her. Yeah. And now you said her content is too offensive because it's exactly what she's been putting out anyway.
Yeah. That's messed up.
And it's like, it's with somebody, it's with a staged actor in a staged car with staged everything.
That's the thing.
Because you're staging it, you're trivializing the fact that this happens to people. It's like, the people that it happened to aren't on my OnlyFans page. There's nobody, I feel like no one that's maybe had a horrible encounter with that there's a good chance there's not a lot of people that are subscribing to.
Unlikely. It's unlikely.
Delphines porn. So again, that's where my concern is that like everything is getting... Like that is insane to me that you're making up a reason to shut someone down. Like, is that a conspiracy? Is it because like all this stuff got taken off of apparently Instagram? Like, no one can have anything. Yeah, censorship went up really hard recently.
It went up pretty hard. Art is still pretty good. Like, you can still have almost basically full frontal nudity in artwork. But
but sexualized people is like trigger warning.
It's all like sensitive content. So the whole thing, I think now they have like sensitive content buttons or whatnot. If you're scrolling through, it'll be like blanked out. So like
now it's like these sites are being shut down.
Yeah, they're being shut down entirely.
I have a bunch of photographer friends that do lewd photography.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm being told that as of this day, my account won't exist anymore if I continue to post stuff from it. So I have to restart a new account, lose all my followers. Like it's like they do it to like reset them.
Yeah.
And so because they think that they won't go back and try to work hard to get all those followers back, right?
That's messed up. That
it's weird to me,
man.
Because it's like, oh, you guys wanted censorship against hate speech. Well, now they have to blanket censor everything.
Well, that's the problem, man. I'm also one of those people who, as much as I hate the concept of Donald Trump having a Twitter account, I also hate the idea of censorship. I've never been a censorship guy. I don't like it because that's how you know who the assholes are. And like we always say, like, you can choose to look the other way and ignore it until it dies. Like, you can choose to not give it attention, and then eventually it'll wither and die, and then you can move on with your life. But then at the same time...
Maybe that's... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, maybe they figured that out finally, and so all they thought of doing was just taking it away so no one can look at all, because clearly you were doing it wrong, because you guys gave him all the attention in the world, and look what happened. I
mean, from day one, you let him do it.
He soaked it up and got power from it and rallied people around himself because you gave him all this attention.
You built a Nazi leader, and you gave him the tools to spread his propaganda. And then you're like, I can't believe that Nazi went full Nazi.
I can't believe that Nazi did all the shit we didn't want him to do.
Yeah, he did all the stuff.
Practically let him do it.
I mean, I gave him all the tools to do it. I can't believe he did it.
Who'd have thought he would use them?
Yeah.
Who'd have thought he'd work hard at this? Like, we thought he was lazy.
Oh, really did.
He's such a hard worker. Donald Trump is such a hard worker.
I mean,
think about that.
He doesn't have a lazy bone in his body. All he wants to do is get bone spurs and sit in the sidelines and pretend he's a military dictator.
Oh, no, but look at how much work he put into doing all the stuff that he did do. I don't mean good stuff. I mean, look at what he's created out of all of his hard work as a troll.
Yeah, no, in that sense, you're absolutely right. I mean, like...
He worked super hard to get where he was right now.
He was as active and as busy on his social media presence as The Rock. I mean, like, and that's saying something.
He made it... He basically was so good at riling up the other side.
Yeah.
Just with his tactics that the work got done for him. Like,
yes.
They gave it to him. And so now they're like, fuck, I guess we have to literally shut him down so everyone stops talking to him and then he goes away. That's all they got. They're like, shut him down. We can't fight him.
Wither and die, win. Man. Wither and die.
Yeah. We need him to wither and die.
Dude, I think we'll use that as our callback. I think we went full circle.
Wither and die?
Oh, yeah, we'll use wither. Well, no, I mean, like, wither and die.
Donald Trump.
Shitting on Trump.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll use it
I wish him the best. We'll see what next adventure he gets to go on.
I mean, exactly.
Maybe another reality show.
Maybe another reality show. I'm looking forward to, like, what the new show's going to be. I feel like...
Oh, dude, I can't believe what season of the Americas are we on now? Season 9?
Season 46.
Season 4 was like when the flood hit Texas, and then everyone forgot about the flood because of the McGregor fight.
Yes. That's right.
It happened on the same weekend, so everyone forgot.
Everybody forgot because, McGregor, he's going to get beat up. So, like, everybody wants to see McGregor get beat up. Oh, my God. No, I think that's, like, it's like when you watch, say, like, I don't know, Seinfeld or one of those guys. Like, the Seinfeld, when it ended, you're like, I wonder what show's going to be next. Like, what's the next show going to be? He already played...
So we're not... You don't think this is the end of a season?
Oh, no, I think this is the end of this show. But I think there's another show coming.
Oh,
like he's moving like from NBC to CBS.
He's gonna get his own solo show.
Yeah. So now he's gonna get his own show.
This was like the Senate. This was called. It was about everybody. It was about Pelosi. It's about all of them. It's about America.
It was what do they call them? When you have like Friends, where there's no one main character, but he's the loudest voice.
He gets spin-off.
Yeah. He's gonna get the spin-off into his own show now. Now it's gonna be Donnie. It's Donnie. Right now it was called like America, like Trump's America or whatever. Maybe it's called like Trump's or whatever. And now it's going to be like when Joey got his own sitcom. He's getting Donnie.
It'll be Donnie in like a pan across lettering, but it'll be that casual partial ending saxophone note.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like doo doo doo, and it's like Donnie.
Yeah.
And everyone's even more mad because like they gave him the spin-off. We hate that guy.
We wanted Kramer.
We wanted who did we want? We wanted Biden to get a spinoff because it would be like Biden's presidency would have been the spinoff show and he'd be saying crazy shit.
They wanted Kramer to get the spinoff, but instead they gave it to Newman. That's what this is. We're getting the Newman show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We wanted the crazy old secret racist to get the solo project, but he didn't get it, so we gave it to the racist.
We gave it to the full-blown racist.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, good show.
The numbers on a racist skate, that's gonna blow up, man. They're gonna get so good ratings on that show.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a good show. I think it's gonna be watchable. I don't think it's gonna be a complete 8-season train wreck. He might get 1 or 2 good years out of it, but he's gonna get one more show. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, exactly. Melania is always gonna be hiding like pool boys in the closet when he gets home. It'll be hilarious.
No, they're gonna kill her off. Like,
eventually he'll just get sick of the pool boy thing and kill her.
No, remember Archie Bunker? When, like, I don't know, you're probably you're a little bit younger than I am.
I know Archie Bunker, but I don't know how the show went, like the end of it. Right?
The show was All in the Family, and that was like the Archie Bunker show, right? And then the next, like the last season of it, they wanted to do something really weird, so they killed Edith off. So, like, she wasn't even there, and it was called Archie Bunker's Place. And, like, Archie was on his own, and, like, Edith's dead, and now he's a widower. And then, what's her name? His daughter, the one who's married to Rob Reiner.
The hippie guy that he hated?
Yeah, Meathead. So Sally Struthers, she got her own show for a season, and they got her divorced, where she was a single mother now. So they got rid of the Edith, who was arguably one of the most fun parts of Archie Bunker, and then they got rid of Meathead and gave Sally Struthers her own show. And they both failed, like, within a year.
What was going on behind the scenes that they made those power moves, man?
That's I don't know, man. It's bonkers.
Know that's not like, oh, we got some good show ideas. No, they wanted people out of there.
They wanted people out of there. They Aunt Viv'd Edith.
Oh, you know what I love, too? There's this, who I've been listening to lately. I think it's Kendrick Lamar. Oh, gosh. No, I think it's J. Cole. One of them has this song where it's all, like, referencing 90s sitcom characters that were no role models. Okay, the song No Role Models, he's basically explaining all his role models were TV parents.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he's like, R.I.P. Uncle Phil at the beginning of the song. Because the actor died. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how current the song is. But then he's like, I want the dark-skinned Aunt Viv style of something. He's like, you know what I want? I want the dark-skinned Aunt Viv style of True Love. So
she was the better.
He wanted OG. What?
She was the better Aunt Viv.
Yeah, and he's saying that everybody knows that the OG mom was the real mom, and things were too complicated, so they had to remove her. Yep. You know, and that's like, wow, that's fucked. But yeah, the
OG dark skin Aunt Viv.
Yeah, I want dark skin Aunt Viv True Love. What are you saying? Like the way that, like, yeah.
I will agree 100%. Like, I mean, that was one of those shocks as a kid when, like, they changed her out. And it was never, like, she didn't have the same kind of pop. Like, when Aunt Viv told you that you weren't being good at life, the original Aunt Viv, yeah, you knew you weren't being good at life.
She was a real mom.
Yep, she was a real mom.
Aunt Viv, light-skinned Aunt Viv was an actor portraying a mother.
Yes. Yeah, exactly
That's what I got.
A
caring, sensitive, what you think a daytime television sitcom for kids, lovely mom, white mom would be like with the OJ. Yeah. And Aunt Viv was just a real-ass mom that's like, I'm raising you because your mom's a piece of shit. I want you to remember that.
She'd been through stuff. Like, that Aunt Viv had seen the Civil War move, or the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah, because they were, like, college educated, and that was the whole point, right? Like, they're like, we were activists, and we were real Aunt Viv.
They were the TV version of what the Obamas were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of what the Obamas wish they could be.
Yeah. They were exactly like, it's almost conspiracy theories. Maybe they engineered the Obamas to be like, we need Uncle Phil, we need Aunt Viv in the White House, like ASAP.
They stole those actors' DNAs and then they spliced them together with Manchurian Candidate stuff, and boom, you got a president and a first lady.
The world's a mess.
That's how easy it is, isn't it? You just use Manchurian Candidate science.
Well, that was just hypnosis, wasn't it? They hypnotized
They put a pill in there. No, they put a pill in there too.
Was there something in there as well?
Like, or not a pill, a microchip size.
A microchip.
Like a pill-shaped microchip that goes all the way into his brain that when they need him to turn it on.
Yeah, they can activate him.
Because they put him in... He killed that guy. He walked out into the water and drowned that dude. Seriously. No, dude, he was so graphic. He just, like, held him down, and the other guy's watching him like, oh, what the fuck? Like, he just... Since when do you murder people? Like, that's kind of,
This is new.
Yeah, but so, he's like hypnosis and persuasion, but because of the microchip thing. And, like, they put him through... They were all put in that surgery bed and modified.
Oh, man. There were, like, a lot of movies like that, right? Marathon Man, Manchurian Candidate, the Omega Man. Like, there were some, like, bleak ideas of what human beings would do given the worst situation. Yeah, capable of.
For power.
For power.
Or whatever you want to say. Power, greed, whatever you want to call it. Whatever they're after.
Man.
That's the thing, man. So, okay, here's a good example. Politicians aren't... There's no way that they're, like, evil by nature.
No.
Clearly, they're doing it for greed and money.
It's
Why
always,
would they do bad things? Because they're like, they're not like that.
No, man. No. I think you're right. This is what I've always thought. Politicians are greedy people who want they just want to be like the cool kid in high school with power and control, and that's it. But they're doing it for money.
And once they have it, once they have enough, like once they realize the kind of money they can get, it gets worse.
It gets worse.
But continue.
But there is an underbelly of people who have real power, who aren't politicians, and they aren't like, you don't know who they are. They're just these organizations, and they're called things like, parents for microphones, like weird shit like that. And you're like, what is that? Like, why are they having
gamers against weed?
Like gamers against weed. Exactly. Like the My Pillow guy has got notes on the CIA. Like like this guy's he's a crackhead. He's a former crackhead, born again Christian, and he's gonna advise on like matters about the CIA. There's got to be something else going on there.
Oh yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So when you think about it, it's like it's a way to understand that maybe they are doing bad things, or things are the way they are because they're greedy.
Yeah.
Why would they do them? Because they're not making any money but being evil. That wouldn't add up in reality.
No, man.
That means that we live in a cartoon world, and then villains are just villains for the sake of villainy.
Exactly. They're just bad because it's fun to be bad.
So there's no way that's real. So there's got to be a reason that stuff like this happens.
Yeah.
Oh, money. So why don't people think of it like that? Like, why aren't they that... Oh, maybe there is a thing that's more than just what I'm looking at in front of my face.
Yeah, man. Well, because it's hard to explain to people. I think like everybody kind of thinks that the media is like is talking to the entire world, and they're really not. Like all the media is talking to about like 15% of the world, and they just feed you like chicken feed, and you just go up there and you pick it up and you eat it and you're fat and you walk away.
Yeah. You eat some of it. Oh, I don't know. Oh, someone else is here. I better go.
Yeah, I better go. And then, you kind of, you have all these things that are happening that, people are willing to look into, and they're conspiracy theories, and some are total bullshit, and some are crazy, like, pedophiles and pizza joints, like all that weird shit. But other stuff just sticks, right?
That's because of the lizard, man.
Exactly. It's because of the Saurians. It's because of the Saurians. But there's other shit out there that just, like, it just makes too much sense. Like, Epstein didn't kill himself. Epstein didn't fucking kill himself, man.
There were people that have a good thing going that don't want it ruined.
Yep.
You kill a guy. That's like mobster shit. That's base level mobster shit. We all know that's how they work. Why would the government not do anything different? They could do it easier.
Yeah. It's the end of Goodfellas. They could
do it lazy. They did it lazy, and they got away with it.
They did it lazy, and they got away with it. It's like right now, like the end of Goodfellas is doing this whole, like, it's in the news, right? Because the montage of when they take everybody down. So they're showing, like, Trump is out, and then, like, Kellyanne Conway's out, and McEnany's out, and they're using the Goodfellas Layla music to show like all these people getting out. But they're missing the point that meanwhile behind the scenes, Jimmy is just sitting in a diner with a smile on his face while the camera's watching him because he secretly kind of put the whole thing together. Like nobody's talking about the one dude who put all this shit together to watch them all burn.
So who's Jimmy?
That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's like organizational.
But the thing is if that's the case, it's somebody who's just as much. So it's Pelosi.
Probably McConnell. I think it's McConnell. I think McConnell is secretly Jimmy.
What does he have to gain?
Money, man. He gets to stay in there. I mean, like, that's why I kind of think this whole thing that he's doing was like, well, I'm not going to vote on anything right now. Let it go. Well, once Biden and Schumer and Pelosi have everything, they're going to do their own thing, and McConnell gets away with no blood in his hands, and Trump gets impeached, and he goes to jail, and McConnell's like, I didn't do it. And his constituents still vote for him, and he's still there.
Oh, yeah. It's job security, and they probably gave him an option, too. They're like, look, man, walk away.
Walk away.
Keep your job. They're all looking for plea bargains. These motherfucking lawyers are lawyers. They know how to plea bargain.
These motherfucking lawyers are lawyers, man.
Well, they know how to deal with this. So they're all creating these crafty-ass plans. How can I make the most money and get away without getting caught?
Absolutely. I even got this idea.
They're smarter than... It's unfortunately, they're clever. That's not smart. That's clever.
They're clever. If
they were intelligent human beings, they wouldn't be doing that shit. They'd be finding better ways to make the place better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly right. If they were more intelligent, they'd make the world better. But they're clever at covering their ass, so this is all we get.
And it gets them money, right? They're clever at their own personal success.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but... Huh?
They're Satanists.
They're Satanists.
In a funny way, they are, because that's what the motto is, like, self-empowerment, manipulating others for your own personal gain, like how to,
They're like everybody crosses. And you know what? It's Satanists calling other Satanists.
Yeah.
To like
it's
taint
Satanists
them.
calling the kettle black.
Yeah, to taint them in the media. It's like, but you're a Satanist. Yeah, but they don't know.
We're all Satanists, idiot. Oh yeah. Shit.
Oh, I forgot.
Pretending. Don't call me out for being a Satanist, because now I have to answer for that.
But I'm a New World Satanist. You're an Old World Satanist, so you're more evil than I am.
There's way less blood sacrifice in the New World Satanist.
Oh, God.
Yeah, sorry. We had a good point, and I ruined it with Satanism.
No, it's good. I'll end it there.
The freaking lawyers are lawyers.
The fucking lawyers are lawyers, man. They know. Oh, Dan, thanks for making it out today, buddy.
Yeah, dude. Man, it was a good day, and I wanted to cap it off because now I'm starting work next week, so I'm excited for that. I can for sure probably pop in again for next Sunday.
Cool, man. We'll keep it going, and then at Backside Attack, Raj is gonna be back like sooner or later. I might do one with him tomorrow because I know he wants to talk more about the presidential Trumpy shit.
Sweet.
So we'll do one.
I'll let you know how the first week back in a hair salon after lockdown goes.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to hear about that.
I think it's going to be a frustratingly hectic week.
I'll fade out. We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
But
what time is it, by the way, too? I got to remember to eat. I didn't eat all day.
Yeah, oh, God. I totally forgot to eat.